How's it going, everybody? I'm back for episode 2 of the Big Chillin' podcast. You're watching this live on the Twitch. Cool. Welcome to the party. I may or may not be able to constantly read the chat if you are in the chat. If you're not and you're watching this from the YouTube, cool. Thank you for watching our podcast on YouTube. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, or and click the little bell at the bottom so that way you get notification of when we do this again. Uh, Let me pull up the thing real quick. For some reason, it's not pulling. Actually, there we go. Cool. Oh shit, Ziller's in here. Oh, let me unmute Ziller. Okay,
What's up, guys?
there you go. Okay, cool. All right, so today I'm gonna go over a couple things on our agenda today, and the first I'm gonna do is give you guys the update on VG real quick. First and foremost, you've probably seen our YouTube channel. If you're watching this from YouTube, you've probably seen our YouTube channel has been getting a lot of content updates and such. So stick to that. Well, there'll be a big announcement coming on the 10th of July where the more details about the rebranding of Validus as a whole and such, and everything related to it. But today I'm gonna introduce Bubba, who I don't think was here on the first episode, right?
No.
Yeah, you weren't. So go ahead and tell us about yourself, Bubba.
Yeah, I'm Bubba. Uh, I've been in VG probably 7 to 8 years, I guess. I don't know the exact date, but started with Arma 3, and man, been playing with you guys ever since. Just about every single game that you guys have gotten into, I've been in too.
That's sick. All right, and then I think joined by us today also is Ziller. You probably already known Ziller from the last one, but if you haven't, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick, Ziller.
All right, hey guys, I'm Ziller. I am a predominantly a FPS player. I've been in Validus for give or take 7 years now. Started playing with them in Planet Side, and also had a lot of time on Arma 3, and was around for their first big venture into the New World Alpha. So yeah, I just been chilling out lately, looking for the next big thing. And yeah.
Sick. Take a look at your PMs, by the way. I sent you the itinerary of what we're going to be talking about, uh, and click the episode 2 for the topics. Okay. Uh, Now that we've done the introductions and the usual update from our beginning, the first thing we're going to talk about today, actually, that I kind of wanted to touch on because we're going to be working on a video on Saturday, is gamer food. This is actually going to be a really interesting topic. I don't think a lot of people talk about this enough. And gamer food is something that I think is pretty important nowadays, especially on the fact that like back then it used to be like the norm to eat like not like Doritos and drink Mountain Dew, and today we're seeing like a big climb of like more healthier alternatives, more like people doing like food delivery and such, like Postmates and such, and Grubhub. But gamer food in general can be anything from like delivery food to fast food to like stuff you keep in your freezer or microwave. But what do you eat and drink as a gamer? And obviously, there's some things that are like uh, more of I guess you could say healthier alternative, I guess. And there are things that are more like a not so healthy alternative, but just cheap and easy. So let's talk about that. So first and foremost, I want to start off with saying, damn, like sometimes like a quick like hot pocket or cup of ramen, like the cheap 35 cent cup of noodles is like it hits different. You're like super hungry even in gaming. You just make that real quick and boom, you're there. You know. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
All right, but that's something that I think is I think gamers don't really talk enough about. We're also joined by Booga today. Booga, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Hi, my name's Buga. I'm from Montreal, Canada.
How long you been with VG? And a little bit
Uh,
about yourself in VG,
uh,
the whole group.
I've been in here for at least 6, 7 years.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
I don't know. I usually play Arma, and I used to play PlanetSide, and I can't wait to start playing New World.
Yep, I can't wait either. Which reminds me, quick note is it's July 1st. We got a countdown coming, 10 days to the meeting and 20 days to the beta launch. So keep that in mind. If you're watching and you're a part of the New World hype, keep that in mind. All right, so going back to the topic at hand is gamer food. What do you what is something that you guys have ate that's like either super out of the ordinary or something that's like part of your regular diet when you're like doing like a really crazy game sesh?
Well, I suppose that I'll start to give you guys a bit of context around my diet. I'm a bit of a health nut personally. I'll occasionally splurge out on like some Domino's or Wendy's or something if I just need some convenience. But like for me, I'm all about like trying to find like, like all natural, organic, like hippie food basically. I don't know. But uh what I like to predominantly do is I'll do like a week long meal prep. So I'll cook up like a bunch of chicken and rice, a bunch of spaghetti or something. Just something that will fuel my body, but not necessarily like, and is fairly, decently healthy
That
as
sounds
well.
like what do you? I don't know what you mean. That's fairly. That sounds way
Oh, are
healthier
you
than what
talking
I
about the
eat.
food ideas?
No, we're in the middle of the podcast, but I'll introduce Cuckles as Cuckles will be joining us as well.
Hey,
Uh,
what's up, guys?
Go ahead and tell us a little bit yourself, real quick, Cuckles.
Oh, yeah. My name's Cuckles, but
And
props where Danny knows me by Geo, and I've been with VG since like 2019, 2018. When did we meet?
I don't remember. I think 2019 sounds pretty
20,
correct.
yeah, about 2019. Yeah, but yeah, just be gaming, bro. I don't know what to say. Been
No,
playing a lot
that's
of
good.
Tarkov.
That's good. Just a little bit about yourself when you join VG and what games you play is good.
Yeah,
But
Tarkov, New
the
World.
topic at hand is gamer food and what do you eat and drink while you're playing video games right now? This part of the topic because the reason why we're talking about that is because we're filming that video on Saturday about what
I give you.
yeah. So about what we're talking about. So that's one of them.
Oh.
I think Zilla was telling us about that, but let's go ahead and move on to the next person. Bubba, what do you eat? Like what do you eat when you're gaming? Bro? Like it could be anything.
So-
It doesn't have to be healthy. You just be honest and just straight up about it. It's fine.
Yeah, so I'm like complete opposite of Zilla. Like I don't take the time to fucking like fix perfect food for health and all that. Mostly whenever I eat like gaming, I'm just grab whatever's easy. I have ramen noodles, uh, pizza, junk like that. Just anything that I can fit on my desk while I'm playing, and it's not too messy.
Yeah,
But
that
yeah,
I'll
feel
be
that
real.
carbs keep you
One where
going.
like your fingers don't get dirty kind of helps. And just a quick,
yeah.
just a quick backstory, not to just to show you the difference here. Ziller's in the military, so he's current active military, so he kind of has to like keep up with that diet,
Yeah,
so that's
most definitely.
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why he probably has to kind of like make sure he doesn't throw junk food in his diet, especially if you're planning on going. Am I allowed to tell him that what you're trying to go for?
I mean,
Is that okay?
I'm not in the actual unit, so you can just
Yeah,
go for it.
but you're allowed to say that you're going for it. So he's actually
Yeah.
trying to go for a special forces unit, and so that's part of it. He has to keep his diet strict, which is actually a funny topic because you're gaming and like you can't access like fast food often. Like I'll be real, my diet's not that great. Like I eat a lot of fast food sometimes that I shouldn't. Like I mean I have a good balance of healthy food too, but sometimes I feel lazy. I'll go in the Jack in the Box, get a double ultimate bacon cheeseburger. It's so good, but it's so unhealthy for me.
Oh my god, dude! Nothing smacks more than like a night of gaming, and I'm a smoker too. You already know that, Danny. I love
Yeah.
weed, bro. So like nothing beats it when I go home from your apartment or something. I grab that sourdough Jack, bro, and
From
I
Jack
just
in the
go
Box on the
home.
way.
Yeah, dude, and I'm
And
like,
it kind of sucks that there's a Jack in the Box literally on the way to your house from my place.
bro, there's a Jack in the Box on the way to your place and on the way towards the beach, bro. Like I have
Yeah.
two, like in every direction. But I don't eat it as much, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, I don't eat as much
Yeah.
too, but it's the fact that I do eat it enough. I'd say I do it like at least once, like every like 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, and that's already that's already bad enough as it
Because
is.
I get sick of it. I'm gonna be real. Even though like it's something I crave sometimes, I do get sick of it. Like I get sick of it. And I'm like, all right, I'm good for the next like 2-3 weeks, like you said.
I will say there is part of what makes my personal meal prep a lot easier is that I use like a pressure cooker, right? So it's a very convenient way to make a bunch of food that can last for a week long.
Maybe I should
The
do that.
only Yeah, the only downsides is pressure cookers, they cost money, and you got to do dishes, you got to learn how to cook a little bit to
Yeah.
be able to use it. But I think that it's actually a pretty good investment, not only for because like you look around you, especially for like the U.S. and everything for America, the general population is in
We're chunky. We're
Climb-
Americans.
We're
Us
big,
Americans
we're
are
big,
chunky
bro.
as fuck. We're chunky. Like we're one of the more obese
severe
countries in the
decline of
world.
health. And
Oh yeah.
so like not only is this an investment on just being healthy, but think when you're healthy, say like you're a competitive player, like you got a competitive mindset. If you are, a true sweaty guy, you should seriously consider what you're also feeling fueling your body, right?
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
the better you fuel yourself or fuel your body, the better you'll be able to perform in all aspects. And in my opinion, that also includes, video games. If you want to perform at a high level, I think that is in your best interest
Yeah.
to invest and work on yourself, especially like for your diet.
So just consume a lot more vitamins that or just not vitamins, but like you said, like the fuel to think like clear. Because what is it, mental clarity? I know like vitamin
So
D
the thing is
really
like,
contributes to that.
I don't know if you guys experience the same thing, but if I say have a string of unhealthy food, I can experience like brain fog and just you just don't feel good. You don't feel like
I
100%.
know what you mean. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
no, most
But
definitely not on
I know
me.
what you mean. I think if you're as long as you're not eating horribly every day, I think I know what you mean. You should be fine, but if you start eating horribly every day, it definitely does affect your mental state of mind, which affects everything in your life, including gaming. And so, especially if, like you said, in a competitive atmosphere, I think a lot of pro players nowadays, I know COG has this. They have a fucking like a professional chef come in and cook for them or something like that, and prepare food for them. It's fucking crazy. But the diet that you take in nowadays is such a fucking like important thing to like keep in mind when you're gaming. That's why on Saturday when we do the episode, we're gonna cover a couple things that's
Yeah.
both healthy and not so healthy, but it's not like super bad for you. But it's something that you don't want to constantly put in your body. But we're gonna go over a wide range of food because I know not everybody's gonna want to like constantly eat healthy. That's just how it is. People aren't
Yeah,
gonna
just
be
how
like
people
that.
are raised, like
Yeah.
some
Well,
like
and to give you guys an idea too, like I don't always eat healthy all the time. Like, just now I had some Wendy's because I was heading back home and didn't really, I wanted to get some food on the way back.
convenience, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
convenience.
but as long as it's an occasional thing, it shouldn't be
Yeah.
much of an issue. You'll be
Yeah.
doing much better than the average American. Honestly, probably the average Westerner if you just limit your intake with fast foods and
Yep.
processed foods.
I agree with 100%. I try not to.
Yeah.
I avoid it as much as I can. Thank you for the cheer, book. You're in the chat. You can put a cheer in there. Booga, what do you
Yeah.
eat?
Yes, the
Especially,
Canadian. What do you
especially
eat,
as a
bro?
Canadian, it's a big thing because us four are down here, live in the U.S. and you live up in Canada.
Well, if I'm not gaming, I'm usually doing healthy stuff. Salads and you know, I'm cooking my own food. But if I'm doing like a full night gaming, then I'm taking order. I'll order takeout. Usually I'll go for like sushi or some shish kebab
So,
because
so that is pretty clean.
yeah,
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 that's a
like
pretty healthy diet.
That's like whole
Yeah.
foods,
That's
like what
that's
you're
pretty
eating is
healthy.
whole. So I'm pretty sure you don't like what Ziller said said earlier. Like you don't feel like that mental fatigue or like maybe the fog maybe later down
yeah,
the line.
like that. I think that's why I order those two things mostly because I don't feel that like the fog is always there for me. So like just if I eat shittier food, it just makes it worse.
Mm.
But
Well, so
honestly, do you know what affects everybody's diet here greatly? Is not just like what we choose to take in. It's also where we live. Like me and Cuckles live in Southern California, where there's a really crazy amalgamation
Oh
of
my
like
god,
different
yeah.
foods that we can pick from. Not only that, but they're open late. Like I can literally drive out like 5 minutes from my place and find a
Get pho,
24/7 pho restaurant. And pho is like really healthy for you. It's not like super healthy, but it's way better than ordering like an ultimate bacon cheeseburger.
Yeah.
But if
'Cause
I
it's
were to
all,
live,
it's all whole, you know.
Yeah.
It's like really is all like
It's
for
soup.
example the pho. It's soup, rice noodles, a little bits of meat, and like some vegetables. Bro. Like it's honestly not.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I'm gonna read one of the comments from the chat. Being in Canada too, Ancient Sly is from Canada. I don't see a difference between how we eat. I think we just less soft drinks, but and more being drunk in Canada.
More
I mean, it's-
Yeah,
But-
like I'm from the birthplace of fucking poutine. Like it's
Oh, poutine. Oh,
it's
dude.
I can't. There's I have yet to find food that's less healthy than poutine. There's nothing good about it. It's just terrible. It's just fat, salt, and grease. It's
God,
delicious, but
Don't
like
forget the carbs, bro. It's just loaded with fries, bro.
my I had a dietitian tell me that eating poutine is basically eating in terms of volume. It's like eating butter straight up.
Oh my god, bro.
Like it's so bad. For
I'll
you.
be real with you though. I love poutine. It's a
Poutine
guilty
is
I know,
pleasure.
good, dude.
It's a guilty pleasure.
delicious.
It's delicious and it's a fucking guilty pleasure.
Oh,
Whenever I
Yeah.
go downtown Montreal and I get drunk at like 3 in the morning, I'll get poutine and then just pass out, and then it's just fucking great.
Yep.
But like
The-
if you're trying to live a healthy life or just trying to do something after eating poutine, forget about it. You're done.
Wait.
Yeah.
So what is this poutine?
Wait,
Oh
you've
my
never
God.
heard of poutine?
Dude,
Jeez,
alright,
bro.
yeah.
Ah,
give him the
Bubba.
rundown. Give him the description of the.
Okay, so
glorious
it's just
treat.
it's three. It's very simple. It's just three ingredients. It's fries, gravy, and cheese curds.
Yes, and they gotta
That's
squeak when
literally
you
it.
bite them, bro. They gotta
Yeah,
squeak.
You get a squeaky cheese. We call it
I'm
Swiss
looking up a
cheese.
picture of it now.
Poutine. Poutine. Yep.
Yeah.
It was a
Bro,
thing that
that's
originally
like-
from Canada. I mean, you can find it down here in the U.S. now, especially here in Southern California. Southern California is just like I said earlier. It's an amalgamation of like usually people who want to open like a food business, they try to do it here in Southern California. It's like one of the places to be next to Vegas.
It's so weird to me because when I was a child, that was just it was something that you only found in Quebec and
Yep.
nowhere else. And now it's just like the internet.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. Yeah. And
I was in Thailand on an island.
you saw
And I found a place
poutine.
that sell poutine. Yeah.
Was it good? Was it like a faithful like?
Did you try it?
No, it was like it was their own style, their own thing
Oh,
on it,
okay, I
and it was
see,
good.
I
It was
see.
delicious, but like the cheese didn't squeak and everything.
That's funny. That's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
But like I said, back to the location thing. Like that's changed. Over the years, and like if you lived out in the Midwest, you wouldn't be able to find stuff like this. Maybe the only thing open near you is like a 7-Eleven gas station, and we all know how 7-Eleven gas stations in the U.S. don't really have healthy options. The healthiest option I can see is like a egg salad sandwich off the fridge menu, and even then, that's like a little you're
That's a
pushing it.
stretch, bro. That's mayo. That's like a lot of mayo, a lot of fat.
I don't
Yeah.
even think that they taste all too great.
Oh,
Either,
no, they
so-
don't.
Yeah, they're
They
not
don't.
that good, bro. No,
They
they're
don't.
not.
I think I had
Uh,
my most unhealthiest diet was back a couple 5-6 years ago. I had a 7-Eleven that's like literally like a minute, not even a minute, like 35 seconds walking distance where I lived, here in Southern California, and I would just walk there 30 seconds at night at like 1 a.m. Get like a fucking hot dog from 7-Eleven, fill that shit with like the nacho cheese, and I ate that like at least 2-3 times a week. It was so bad.
I can't believe you weren't even drunk for that, bro. You said that's like a drunk craving. You just eat
Yeah,
that.
I
shit
just did it. It
sober.
was so good to me, bro, but it was so bad. I knew it was bad. But that's an example of like location kind of affecting you. Like if you live let's say you live in like fucking bumfuck nowhere, Colorado or something, right? You're not gonna see a pho restaurant open 24/7. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one thing. So gamer foods. Is there anyone else want to add to that? Like gamer food?
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to add something real
oh,
quick.
okay, yeah.
Go for it.
So there's a thing that I like to call the holy trinity of not feeling like garbage, and
Oh.
food is like part of the holy trinity of not feeling like garbage. But the other two aspects is your sleep and your fitness. And there's no rocket science to for fitness. Like honestly, for your average person is to get on a good a decent weightlifting program and do some cardio to get your heart strong too. And then for sleep, find ways to optimize your sleep. Don't be staring at a screen like right before you go to bed, but just
Make
a
sure
bunch
you
of
got
blue
lights in
light.
your room.
Yeah, no, don't have a bunch of blue light flashing in your face and all that before you go to sleep and everything. But if you like, you can't just go for food and think that it's going to solve all of your problems. You gotta fix the other two parts of the Holy Trinity too. Otherwise, it's just going to fall apart. It's not going to work. You don't go into a raid if your healer and tank aren't present, right? You can't just death ball DPS everything unless the raid design's garbage or something. I don't know, but
Yeah, but
like,
most of the time it's not like that, bro. You do need that sleep, food, and just overall health.
Sleep
like
is
you said.
probably something that a lot of gamers struggle with. I think it's because sleep is like it's a there's an obsession with the dopamine in your head when you're playing a video game, and that dopamine gives you the adrenaline to stay awake and ignore the tiredness of being sleepy, and I think that's a big deal also. But yeah, definitely, there's a saying that I live by, and it's like you either eat to live or you live to eat. And I'm like on the left side right here where I'm like I fucking like I live to eat. I love food. And there's a lot of VG in real life episodes that we're punching out now, and you can see us exploring a lot of different foods, and that's a healthy way to kind of expand your perspective, exploring different food types and such. All right, Cuckles, I think you wanted to add something before we switch to the next topic.
So like recently in the last like couple months, bro, I've been seeing it a lot. I mean, it's been out for a few years now, but like I know the reason why like a lot of people don't cook for themselves is because they, depending on where you live, like you said, like for example in Southern California, like life out here is a little bit quicker for sure because like it's not like the Midwest or like just like the Midwest where it's like open fields and there's like, very little places. But here it's like there's a nightlife and people are just constantly moving and they just don't want to waste like in their eyes waste time cooking. So what a lot of like millennials like my age have been doing has they've been jumping on like, I think you've seen a few ads, but like the blue apron subscriptions for like groceries to be delivered to your house, or even like HelloFresh, where it's like chef cooked meals prepared and sent to your door, and all you do is just pop them in the microwave. So that's like another option if you like, you're not really big on cooking and you also like don't mind like spending a little bit more because it is like, like prepare for you. It's convenience. You're paying for the convenience, but at the same time, not only paying for the convenience, but you can be paying for like quality foods where it tells you your macros or what vitamins you're getting. So that's a big option that I'm about to try out this week too.
That's
I
the big thing for me, like convenience. How
You
easy
gotta
is it to
balance
get
it.
all this stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to balance
Yeah.
it. Like I think going totally healthy is great if you can do it, but obviously there's a level of like what's available to you at 1 a.m. when you just finished playing. Like there's also a level of
Yeah.
that too. But I think finding the right balance is the key here.
Well, that's the key to doing meal prep, right? Is that say you do you do meal prep, you spend say like 30 50 minutes or so, and you made yourself like 5 or 6 meals. So you just made yourself 5 or 6 meals, and you can just keep that shit in the refrigerator or the freezer, and you have food that's ready to go to be microwaved, and it's better than all this like all these TV dinners and stuff. You could arguably make it taste a lot better too if you
Depending on your skill.
yeah, depending on your skill and your knowledge with cooking, which comes with time. The first dishes I made were like trash,
Yeah,
and
same.
Yeah.
now
I burnt my
They're-
first eggs, bro. Like the
I,
first
I,
time
I've lived on my
started
own for a
cooking,
while, so
I
it's a lot
burnt
easier.
eggs.
I lived on my own, and I've been cooking since I was like 7. Because when I was a kid, I had a big family, and they were either at work or at school or after school, and I'd come home, literally a 7-year-old or 8-year-old coming home, and then I was the only one at home, right? Uh, and I know this was really bad on my parents who for leaving me at home for like 3 hours by myself. But I had to learn to cook like scrambled eggs and stuff and like other Vietnamese dishes by myself to feed myself for after school, and then go straight to homework and such. And that was like that was a big deal for me back then. Uh, so yeah, I get it. I know what you mean. Cooking is a big deal. I think gamers are starting to become more healthy. Not that they it's still like at a level where we should be at, but it's getting there. Like it's starting to become
It's a good
normalized.
step,
Yeah.
So I got one thing to add. What about like all this new like food and drinks specifically for gamers? Like you see
G Fuel, right?
G Fuel and
I
stuff.
think
Like, have you
G
guys
Fuel is
ever bought
terrible,
any of
right?
that?
I've never
Yeah,
tried G
I've
Fuel.
had
I'm
it.
pretty sure it's bad for you, dude. Like I don't know.
Let's
is
find
it?
out. I'm gonna look it up right now. Is G Fuel like actually good for you?
I got a feeling it is
It's
super
more
bad
like
for
an
you.
energy
But
drink,
I
right?
I would assume so because
Yeah.
energy drinks I've never seen end
There-
up
there's-
actually.
There's
really
only
good
one
for you.
energy drink I will swear by, bro, and it's I don't know if like because I know a few like guys that I know in like the like just well, what branch are you, bro?
I'm in the army.
Whoa.
Army, yeah,
Check
yeah.
this out.
So yeah, in the army, bro, they'll be drinking fuck, it's called Celsius, bro.
But yeah, they'll drink Celsius, Nos,
Yeah.
Monster. They fucking all of it, dude.
Yeah. Oh, the difference between Celsius though, which I do appreciate, is that it's it's like the caffeine that you're getting is not just like from coffees or like like wherever the fuck they get their shit from, but it's actually like derived from green tea, which studies have shown like it gives you like a nicer how I say like I guess caffeine high because that's what it is, right? Like when you feel like
Yeah, you're high straight up.
yeah,
It's
you're
a
high,
drug.
right? So the caffeine high is a lot milder, and it's just also like not gonna fatigue you as hard. Like it's not gonna give you a crash. So yeah, that's a drink that I can actually swear by.
See, it's weird too because like I'm a bit of a unicorn among soldiers in the sense that, because a lot of soldiers are arguably less healthy than gamers. Like, knowing a lot of soldiers, like, uh, especially with how young they tend to be, uh,
Yeah,
they're not exactly a healthy bunch either. Like,
I
I
mean they're
also,
teens, like
yeah,
you're recruited
and
at like 18 or 17. There's people in like GROTC programs, and
yeah,
like
they also, they got the DFAC and everything, which I like to use the DFAC a lot because, well, one, money gets taken out of my paycheck automatically because it assumes that I use that, so I might as well. Um, so I utilize the DFAC and everything, which has some decent options. It's fairly healthy food, but like, yeah, no, I'm personally a guy that I do not use energy drinks. I don't drink coffee even, like no
I
caffeine whatsoever.
oh damn,
I just looked it up. I looked it up. G Fuel is actually better in terms of it doesn't contain any more caffeine anymore, but it has a lead warning on it. If you drink too much, it has lead in it.
oh what the
What?
fuck? No,
What?
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah, there's a
What
lead
the
warning on
fuck?
it.
Well, here's
Apparently, it apparently is there's a study that shows that it's safer to drink G Fuel than like Monster. But I'm gonna be real. That's not a high bar to
Yeah,
get
it's
over.
not a high bar
really
at
not.
all.
You could drink water with like sugar and it'd be better than freaking.
And
all
it
the other
apparently
ones,
is supposedly healthier than soda. Apparently, canned energy drinks and coffee is healthier than soda. I guess that makes sense. In proper moderation, is healthier than sodas and canned energy drinks. Wait, never mind. I ain't trusting that statement. That's from the G Fuel Twitter. Never mind. I ain't touching that statement.
nah,
Yeah,
dude.
no.
That's
I-
not the best information.
The
you're
the
getting it from.
the places I looked were not from G Fuel, but I just looked at that one. That was from the G Fuel Twitter. But I don't trust that statement. Then I think I'll stick to my soda. That's probably the one thing I do that's really unhealthy is I drink large amounts of soda. I slowed down a lot over the years, bro. In my early 20s, oh my god, I used to be like 6 cans a day. Nowadays, it's like maybe like 2 cans a day, unless I'm really gaming hard. Then it goes like 3-4 cans a day at most. But
Honestly,
even then,
bro,
that's like
if most Americans like limited their intake of soda, you'd probably solve half the obesity epidemic. Soda is
Probably.
literally just empty calories with no nutrients and a shitload of sugar.
It's not even sugar. Like, let me tell you this. It's not. Obviously it's labeled under sugar, but it's just high fructose corn syrup. It's literally fructose, bro. It's not even broken down the same way glucose is, which is sugar. It's so much. It's way worse for you because it's like example corn. When you eat corn, bro, you can't process any of that, bro. So you just shit it out, right? But this is processed already for you. So, i.e., it's like just it's way worse for you, bro. It's like
Yeah.
none of like these nutrients aren't even like needed for your body. They just stack on like, and that's basically the fat,
all right. Does anyone else have anything other they add? Booga, you want to add something?
Oh well, I was just gonna say that I haven't drank any energy drinks in years because I used to pretty much have to because I'd after school I'd go straight to work and then I'd go home, sleep like 4 hours, and then go back to work to do another 12-hour shift.
that sucks.
Oh,
And so I had
Damn,
to
well,
drink
fuck.
something to wake me up. And yeah, I remember like having heart palpitations, and I was like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore." And yeah, so I don't know. I think there's a price for everything. No matter how you choose to do things, you want to have something that's quick and convenient, and there's a price to pay for that.
There's
no,
a
most
there's a
definitely.
there's a really high dopamine level of like drinking a cold soda on a hot day.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
there
the thing.
definitely is some kind of high dopamine level there.
And
Yeah,
that's
dude.
the sugar you get too. Like I'm sure it releases
Yeah.
dopamine for that too.
Fucking
Like,
Dr. Pepper. I can't stop drinking Dr. Pepper. That's like
Oh
my
yeah,
blood.
this man loves his DP,
I
bro.
fucking-
Like
I
he'll
love
come
DP, bro.
over and there'll be DP there every time, bro. If it's not there, bro, it'll be there the next day.
All right, we're gonna move on to the next topic. That was a good topic. I think gamer food. We're gonna touch more on that in the future.
Sorry.
What's up,
I
bud?
gave a recommendation, but I'll actually give you what I eat when I game, bro. I actually eat. I go to Tokyo Central. You know the place next to like 10 minutes away, Danny.
Yeah.
I go there, and I only get one ramen, bro. It's the curry ramen every time, and that's why I fuel myself when I'm on like New World or something. If I'm gonna be playing for like freaking hours on straight, I'm gonna be eating just that. It's so bad for you, bro. But man,
My
it's so
day-to-day
good.
routine, I usually try not to eat while I'm at the computer, and I'm very lucky. I'm a very fortunate guy. I have a girlfriend that's willing to like get me food on her way home and bring it to me while I'm at the computer. Like the other day, I had a Japanese curry, Kobu Ichibana, while right before we did the first episode podcast. That's what I was eating. I was shoving fucking chicken katsu or pork katsu with Japanese curry into my mouth, and it was so good. So I'm fortunate. I'm one of the few who not one of the few, but one of gamers are starting to become more like acceptable social norm. So I guess more gamers have more girlfriends nowadays. But that's something that I'm very fortunate to have a girlfriend that's willing to bring me like food and such.
All right, we're flex, but okay.
moving on to the next one. I mean, it'd be the same thing if you had a family member who like cooks in your house. You just come out and just grab something real
I'm just
quick. You know,
kidding.
like,
No, I have the same thing too, bro. I live at home, like, and I live with my Asian parents, bro. And you know how Asian parents are.
yeah, they cook a
Always
lot.
food at home, bro.
Yeah,
There's like beef stew, like pho. Sometimes,
yeah, and comfort rice, baby's comfort food.
Oh yeah,
That's the
dude,
thing, yeah.
fire, dude. No, actually, what is your guys' comfort food? I would love to know that since we are all from like different areas.
Here, I can go with that real quick because there's this local burger restaurant that's downtown Colorado Springs and like called the Skirted Heifer. It is so good. I do not like burgers anywhere else now. Like they
Damn,
ruin
that is
burgers everywhere else for me, and they have Belgian fries as well, salted Belgian fries, and I probably have given them like $500 at this point just going there endlessly.
Damn.
But I love it.
dude. That's awesome to hear, bro. Damn, that must be really good to make you not want to eat any burgers anywhere else. That's crazy.
Anyone else got comfort food?
Dude, it's gotta
I-
be bun sale for me, bro.
Bun sale for you?
Yeah, so bun sale, if you guys don't know, is a Vietnamese like crepe. It's like a
Yeah,
Vietnamese
it's a savory
crepe.
cake. Savory crepe,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so they'll like for my family, they'll throw in like bean sprouts, sauteed onions, pork belly, and shrimp. And then basically it's a pretty healthy meal too. Because basically what you do is you break off a section of the crepe and you wrap it in vegetables. It'll be like mince or perilla leaves or like mustard greens. And then
You wrap
dip
it
that
with
in fish
lettuce.
sauce.
You take the
Yeah,
lettuce and wrap
too.
it, and it's like the lettuce outside is like the green, and the bun on the inside is considered like the protein with all the extra vegetables on it. Then you take it and you dip it into fish sauce and you eat that, like
Yeah.
like lemon fish sauce. I think it's really it's a really healthy dish.
It's
Yeah.
so good, bro, and it's so addicting, bro. I can eat it every time and not like get sick of it, bro. But yeah, that's mine.
For me, I've lived away from home. So I'm the Vietnamese guy I've lived away from home for almost like 10 years already, or like coming up on 10 years. And so I've learned to like cook on my own, but at the same time, like I don't know how to cook like traditional Vietnamese dishes. So there's this place near us that I go to. It's called Mai's Kitchen, and I go there and I get this dish called gum yadin, and in Vietnamese that stands for like family rice dinner basically. And it comes out when it comes out, it comes with like a soup, a sautéed vegetable, and a protein, and then that's like my comfort food right there because that's like the stuff that your mom and dad kind of makes at home, and for us it's like there's like a bunch of dishes in the middle, and each person gets like a rice bowl, and you kind of pick stuff out of those dishes to eat as like as a family. That's why it's called family rice, and that's one of the things I that's like my comfort food. I love gum yadin. That's like my thing. I can't get that like at home. I can only get that out now unless I visit my parents in Florida. But a lot of Vietnamese people who do live their family still, typically their parents may or may not make it. I don't know. But gum yadin's one that was my
Dude, my
comfort
parents
food.
do not make that, bro. It's
Yeah.
actually very rare. That's
Rare?
like something you you're more likely to find in the store, just because like it just takes so much time to prep. Like it honestly does take a little bit of time to prep because you're prepping so many different like proteins and
three
sauteed
different
vegetables,
dishes.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to the next topic is the news. If you guys haven't seen it, and those of you in the podcast that haven't seen it, I recommend Googling this real quick. Elderscrolls 6 has been announced that they're still very early in development. AKA, they didn't really start too much development on it prior to the announcement, the teaser announcement 3 years ago. Wow. A lot of people right now, I think, are pretty upset about that. I think, let me pull up a quote from someone that's like, let me look up Elder Scrolls 6 news. Quick. PC Gamer. 3 years after the Elder Scrolls 6 was announced, it's a joke, I guess. Todd Howard is thinking about making it.
Jesus Christ.
So apparently, the new Elder Scrolls is in the design phase, quote unquote, and I'll be real with you, that's pretty big. So from 2018 E3, Elder Scrolls 6 was announced, the teaser trailer, and I personally thought that it was already past the design phase when they announced it, but apparently they still haven't even gotten past that yet. Wow, games like used to be made pretty quickly, you know, but as the technology has gotten more and more advanced and the production quality for games has like increased, we've seen a huge pattern of games getting either pushed back or just not following a proper development cycle. And one of the games like Call of Duty that come out like almost every year or every other year, I think they have like 3 different studios that rotate the Call of Duties. I think we know which ones do which one. With Call of Duty.
Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, and Activision, I think.
No, Activision is the publisher.
Then
it's Infinity
Treyarch.
Ward, Sledgehammer,
there you go.
and Treyarch. Treyarch does World at War and Black Ops and Cold War. Infinity Ward did Modern Warfare. Sledgehammer sometimes did the Modern Warfare series, if I remember correctly. I think Sledgehammer was Modern Warfare 3, while Infinity War was Modern Warfare 2, I think.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
I thought
But
Sledgehammer was like they co-produced Modern Warfare 3, and then they went on to make Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, something like that. They made a couple different ones. But apparently, Elder Scrolls 6 is not ready yet. You know, and that's kind of a big deal if you think about it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was a joint operation between Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer Games.
Yeah, and then I think a couple of other spin-offs were Sledgehammer mostly. Like I think Call of Duty Ghost was Sledgehammer. I think I'm not too sure who else did Ghost.
I'm pretty sure that was also Infinity Ward, actually.
Was it? Okay.
Ghost.
Well, either way,
Ghost was Infinity Ward.
Either way, the point is that like they have 3 different fucking companies that rotate, which is a big deal, you know? Like that's how they get these games out so fucking fast and how they make their fucking yearly money every year. But when it comes to other games where they don't have that development cycle, these games take a while to come out. Like the last time we had an Elder Scrolls game come out was fucking 10 years ago. 10 fucking years ago. Let me double check. Elder Scrolls 5 release date. When did Skyrim come out? Skyrim came out, November 11th, 2011. 2011.
Yeah.
So that is literally 10 fucking years ago. And they've re-released the game multiple times. Now, with that being said, I don't want to fault Bethesda for re-releasing the game, because one, as long as there's a market for it, people are buying it. You know, Cuckles your mic's acting, and two, like it's very minimal development for them to do it. You know, and whatever money they make is like keeps going back into like whatever they're gonna do. You know, so I'm not too against the idea of them re-releasing the game, because if there's a market, then why blame them? You're there to make money. So at the end of the day, like if there's people willing to buy Skyrim on the Switch, then it's gonna happen. Which is funny because all these things that they're re-releasing the game on, it's not even really worth it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like why would I play Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim on the Switch when I can play a much more improved modded version on the PC? But I don't know. I digress. But what do you guys think? Elder Scrolls 6 apparently still in design phase.
Well, I was gonna say, like, what you said almost reminded me of, like, Stalker 2. I think 2 years ago, they had like a teaser announcement, but it's been 2 years now, and they actually have gameplay. They got actual gameplay of in-game engine footage and everything. Uh, but yeah, no, 3 years and they have basically nothing to show for it. It's not great. I have
Yeah,
to say it's
I think they announced it too early. I
that's
think they
what I'm
announced it way too
thinking.
early. They shouldn't announce it at the moment.
Like they released a trailer for like a Starfield like a few weeks ago, and that's coming out next year.
That's okay though, because at least they showed us a cinematic apparently of it, and
Yeah.
and as long as they get closer to, as the game gets closer, I hope they show better gameplay. Because Bethesda ever since Skyrim has started to go downhill. I'll be real. Even with Fallout 4, it wasn't even that great of a game on launch. I think a lot of people didn't like Fallout 4 for whatever reason. Personally, I liked Fallout 4. I thought it was a cool game, and I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I'm probably gonna get roasted and chastised for saying this, or what do you call it? I forgot what's the word for this. Not chastised.
crucified.
Crucified for saying this. I thought Fallout 76 was an enjoyable game. Unpopular opinion.
And I thought
Not a
Lost
lot of people would like that. I'm not saying
Not
it's a
like
great game. I'm not saying it was good, but it was enjoyable. Like instead of giving it like a 2 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10, that's not what I thought. I thought it was more like a 7 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10. Was it worth the $60 price point? No. I think I should have waited and bought it on sale. Is it worth it at $20 and $30? Yeah, especially if you got friends to play it with and you enjoy the Fallout series. Yeah, it's not a proper sequel, but it's definitely a good spin-off series. That you can play with friends. But yeah, that's I'm gonna get crucified for saying that, but I thought Fallout 76 was actually all right.
Man, I'm
I,
not.
I did not like it at all. It was buggy, a mess. It was completely unbalanced.
Yeah,
There
there's
were
some
so many
design
things
flaws.
that were wrong.
Some design flaws I thought was pretty obvious. That was pretty stupid. I think
They
the
were
PvP,
really horrible. Yeah,
the PvP is probably one of the biggest design flaws of that game. I think. But yeah, Elder Scrolls 6, Bethesda, too early, way too early. I wish it wasn't early, because I'm a big Elder Scrolls fan.
I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't even know that Elder Scrolls 6 got announced 3 years ago.
It did. That's all. All we got was a
I had
video.
no idea.
All we got was a pre-rendered random video of mountains and clouds, and it says Elder Scrolls 6. There's a lot of theories that like apparently it's going to take place in some place that's more like a Highlands, kind of world. But the problem with it is that like there's no confirmation of it, and all it is just mountains and clouds. It could be anything, like really, really could be anything. And 3 years later, we still don't know what it could be.
Well, if it's all mountains and clouds, hopefully the horses are like Skyrim, so I can scale those things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big I love the Elder Scrolls series, but we'll see where it goes from there.
Kind of reminds me of like Arma 3 and Bohemia Interactive. Arma 3 came out in what 2011 or 2009, somewhere around there, and it's
No,
been
and I
on.
think Armor 3 came out like 2012. Actually, I think it came out.
Yeah,
20
it's
2013, I believe.
it's been 10 years since that's
Yeah,
come out.
2013.
So, but the good thing about Bohemia Interactive, they have not said anything about Arma 4.
No,
I don't
that's
think
not a
they're
good
gonna-
thing. They did. They hinted at it.
Did?
They did officially announce it, but they hinted that they're working on the next Arma series or
Working on
engine or
the
something like that.
engine. Yeah,
Yeah.
engine.
It's so they're preparing for Armor 4. Apparently, it's like not confirmed, but like it's so like they're hinting so much at it that it's safe to say that they're working on Armor 4. I think, but because we haven't announced it, it's safe to assume that it's not going to come out anytime soon. I don't even see it coming out in the next 3 years.
I would
Like
imagine that
maybe
they
we'll get
would-
an announcement in the next 3 years, but definitely not come out.
I
I'd
think Arma
imagine that
3
they
still
would
has some
be-
life in it.
Oh, sorry, yeah, but I'd imagine to be working on like Virtual Battle Simulator 4, before they
Wait, that's a
go for
Bethesda game? Or sorry, that's a Bohemia game?
Virtual Battle Simulator. I honestly, I think it uses the same engines.
Wait,
I
I didn't know
believe.
that.
Yeah, Virtual Battle Simulator. They use fairly similar engines. Like I was playing Virtual Battle Simulator 2. You know, the
Oh,
army has
I'm
their
so stupid. For a second there,
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
Oh,
totally accurate
yeah,
battle simulator.
VBS.
no,
But
not
no,
that.
VBS, yeah, VBS. Yeah, we're talking about
Yeah,
yeah. Bohemia is a contractor for a lot of militaries throughout the world,
So you probably see BBS 4 before you start seeing like Arma 4. You know,
which is funny because they make way more money off VBS series than they do Arma series, despite Arma I think hitting 1.3 million sales or something like that. And yeah, Arma does have a lot of life in it. It's funny because Arma started like this. It started like a really small niche population, and over time, it started growing. And then 2015, 2016 hit. It started growing even more. Then when I think this is the biggest update they released, where that really fucking shot the game up. The Zeus DLC. When that got released, one, it was free. Two, it added a whole fucking plethora of things for things to do, and the population for Arma fucking skyrocketed. It's never really gone down. It's kind of either remained stagnant or gone up. It's never really, let's look at the Steam DB real quick.
it's like 18,000 concurrent players or peak players.
Well, actually, I want to make sure I'm not talking on my ass, and I want to make sure that the game population is gone up or stagnant. Okay. Yeah. So here we go. Back when it released, it had population of 3,500, and it's slowly climbed steadily over the years. There's been it's not like a steady like climb up. It's kind of like an average where it goes up and down here and there. But over the years, it's gone up and then down, up and then down. And I think we are looking at a really popular trend where the game's population definitely grew. Yeah, it's pretty up there right now. I think it's kind of going down at the moment because of the lack of like other stuff. But every time a DLC comes out or an update or a crazy mod, you're seeing a really big influx of population for sure.
I think a large contribution to that, though, was from Arma 2, the DayZ mod, because that from that one mod, there have been so many games that have branched off from that one survival idea. I remember that's how I got into Arma, was because I was watching the Devil Dog Gamer on YouTube play DayZ, and I was like, man, I've never seen a game like this. I gotta play it. And then from there, I got into Arma and started playing the more milsimi part of it.
Yeah, I think that's probably arguably one of the most unique gaming experiences. Definitely Arma. But we're going off topic. Anyone else want to add something before we switch back to game development or development cycles? All right, let's go back to the next. We'll roll on to the next topic. But Arma and Milsim, I actually want to save that for a future episode where we invite a couple more real life military guys into the stream and talk about how military experiences can translate to gaming and vice versa, and people who did play games translate into gaming and such. Or sorry, from gaming into the military. We'll talk about that in the future on a future episode, but that's gonna be a really fun topic to talk about. But let's go ahead and go to games that delay or games that get stuck in development hell. And I think the one that a lot of people are probably very it's very controversial is Star Citizen. Um, I think it was announced in 2012, right?
Yeah,
The
something real close
crowdfunding
there.
started.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but I think it's right about that time that
Yeah.
they started the crowdfunding for that.
Okay. Star Citizen was officially announced at GDC on October 10th, 2012. And they didn't get funded, I think, and meet their funding goal until I think almost the beginning of 2013. So they officially didn't start development until I think the beginning of 2013. And the problem with Star Citizen was that and here's where I can forgive Star Citizen, I'll be a little more lenient with it as opposed to other studios. Star Citizen had to spend time to make a fucking game studio for the game. They didn't start with it. They had to get it. And slowly over time, they didn't start with all that funding that they had. They had to build that funding up over time, which I'll be real with you, as a game developer who has a similar problem, it's annoying. It's very fucking annoying. Cuz I my game is mostly self-funded, right? But I've made people who back the game, et cetera, for my game, they come and go. Like people have funded the game a lot. People have like and such, and there's a percentage of people who've refunded. And here's the thing that I offered that a lot of people don't understand is I offer refunds for my game. Like if you think development is taking too long and you want your money back, 100% I'll refund you. You know, it's cool. But because I offer that, it's development is rough. You know, it's rough.
Yeah.
Your budget goes up and down like this, and sometimes your budget like drastically changes. You're like things that you thought you couldn't do 6 months later, you can do now that you have the funding for it. You know, like it's just it changes. And Star Citizen, we can give them a little bit of slack there. With that being said, I think the one problem I have with Star Citizen is that like, every time a big update comes out, it's so cool to me. It's so cool to me that all the shit they add, but fuck, is it annoying to play sometimes? And I wish it wasn't. It was less fucking annoying to play. Like the gameplay and everything about it's great. It's the bugs, the difficulty it is to fucking play with friends, and all these things that like fucking compound up to like make it so it's like not even worth playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It usually takes us like, no kidding, like at least an hour. Like from the moment we launch the game to till at worst we're ready to play the game, just because we got to jump through all these hoops and through all these bugs. And when someone dies, you got to wait for them to come back. Like it's
They need to add. They need to make it so it's more. It's better. It's more playable in a stable way. Like I understand. I understand what they're trying to do, and when you fix bugs, right, in a game that's so early, you actually don't want to focus too hard on fixing bugs. It's weird. It's weird. So in the current alpha, fixing bugs is actually not a priority in game development. Did you guys know that? It's not. You want to know why? Because in an alpha, you're typically adding more features, right? You're adding more and more features to the game that need to be there before the game can actually enter beta phase. So alpha phase is meant for just prototyping and testing systems and such. And these systems are going to see drastic changes in the alpha, or even systems that aren't even there yet are in the alpha. You know what I mean? And they have to add these systems during the alpha. Once all the systems that they want to add is in the alpha, that's when the game graduates to the beta phase. And during the beta phase is when you really want to go like 200% focus on bug fixing. You know, then after beta phase, the game's out. Then you can add whatever post launch support for whatever you want to do. That's one of the reasons why Star Citizen hasn't gone too hard on bug fixing. Is because of that. Because let's say you have a system, right? Let's say they added in the cloud tech. I think that's what they did recently, right, Booga?
Yeah.
They added in cloud tech, and if they were to fix like a bug, right, and then they add in like base building tech, that bug might actually break the game that they fixed. Like them fixing that bug from before might actually break the game and make development longer. And so that's one of the reasons why they probably don't fix too many bugs at the moment. It's because you need to get all your systems in the game first and then start bug fixing. Otherwise, it's not gonna. You're not really fixing bugs. You're just delaying the inevitable. But yeah, that's anyone else ever want to add to that on Star Citizen or not just Star Citizen games that like are kind of like in development hell right now or delay or stuck in development.
Star Citizen kind of is unique compared to everything else because it's been mostly funded by like gamers, like
Yeah.
the people that want to play it, rather than being funded by some
A publisher.
you know, some investors. Yeah, so some people that can put pressure from the top.
Yep. And that's I think that's one of the things that like a lot of people don't understand is that it wasn't a game that a publisher came and just shoved them like what is it 300 million they have in crowdfunding right now?
Yeah.
330.
It's more than that.
It's like
Yeah.
330 right now. So it's not like they got that money right away. If they did, I think we'd actually see like a more finished product now. But it's a fact that it ramped up over time by players, and it's a pretty important big deal. If Star Citizen succeeds, that's a win for every gamer on this planet. And there's a lot of people that don't want it to succeed for whatever fucking reason. Blows my mind. I don't care if like if they really if it's a scam or it's not a scam. It's the fact that there's a chance that this game could succeed, and if it does, that's a win for you. We want to try to move away from games being developed with a publisher overhead. That's how you kill a game. That's how you kill a company. You know, removing the publisher overhead is big. And I think that's a 100% a good point with Star Citizen.
That's how I see it. I just see it like I'm investing in a new way to make video games, and let's see if it works. If it doesn't work, well then at least we tried.
Yeah, at least they tried.
To me, it's an experiment more than anything.
And in its current state, it's an enjoyable game. You can play it by yourself really well. I think if you really if you think it's a scam, that's fine. But at least give them this. Like, at least give them this. The perspective that you have that it's a scam, at least they have something that's playable. Give them that. There's a lot of scams out there where they produce something that's not even playable. Like Star Citizen has an actual gameplay loop. You can log in, you can go do missions, build up your money, do stuff, join you can't officially join an organization, but you can join an organization like out of the game, and then I think when you join an organization on the website, I think it shows up in your friends list and shit. I don't know, something like that, and you can join servers with people, play and do things that they've promised in the updates. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that's been like pushed back or feature creep, and that's the downside, the dark side of Star Citizen. But the plus side is that you can actually fucking play it, and a lot of the stuff is impressive. It's impressive tech, like just very very impressive.
That's the one thing I like about Star Citizen. Even though it's taking forever, it's like every month they come out with a some kind of I don't know, I guess a log of what they've done that month, what they've achieved, and what they're working on. And they just, to me, they've been really, really
Upfront,
transparent with,
transparent. Yep.
yeah, with what they're working on and how long it's going to take, and just like, to me, that's what I expect. If all these people have spent so much money on this game, we ought to know, what exactly you're working on, what's taken so long, and just I really like that they've made us a part of the development pretty much.
Yep. Uh, Anyone else want to add to that before we move on to the next topic, which I think has a correlation with this? All right, moving on. The next topic actually correlates to this topic pretty well. We're going to talk about games that sucked on launch, but over time redeemed themselves. I'll throw two out there. That one is way more known, and the other is not as known, and people still hate it. One is going to be the biggest one in the room, or the biggest one that I think has made a huge fuck comeback. That is No Man's Sky. Like, fuck, do you guys remember the whole like controversy behind that game in the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
They lied. They straight up lied.
Yeah, it was worse than what's that game? Cyberpunk. It was worse than that. It was
Yeah.
People wanted blood.
Like because they straight lied, bro. And what's funny, because I was one of the few people who were like very skeptical about New World, or not New World, No Man's Sky. I was so skeptical. I looked at it like, this gameplay looks kind of boring, and also like I'm very skeptical of what this fucking guy is selling to me. On like he would go on shows and stuff and talk about it, and people would be like, "Is there multiplayer?" And he'd be like, "Right, yes, kind of." And then like in the game when it came out, and you know what's funny? On the back of the box, the hard copy version of No Man's Sky for Xbox 360, it said it had multiplayer. And companies had to put a black tape over that part, because there was no multiplayer on launch. Now there's multiplayer. Now the game's released has gotten a lot of content updates and fixes and such, and it's actually a pretty good game now on Steam. You find it on sale for like $30. I think it's worth picking up if you got friends to play it with. And that's coming from someone who's like very critical of No Man's Sky back then. Yeah, that's an example of a game that sucked, but post support made it way better. Fucking Arma is like that, actually, if you think about it. Arma 3.
Yeah.
On launch, it was like very whatever, very mediocre.
Yeah, the start was pretty rough. Arma 3 was kind of bare bones when it first came out.
Yep.
But they came out with more stuff, a lot of more of optimizations and things, and they've given out like the free DLCs. Like you talked about earlier, the Zeus, massive. It completely changed the game. I can't even imagine playing Arma without Zeus now, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um,
Another difference. I think another big addition was when Arma went from 32-bit to 64-bit.
Yes, that was a huge one.
Because back in the day, this is when we're running the Australia campaign for Arma. Armor 3 Australia campaign for us when we were playing it, and by Australia I mean like we played a modded campaign, and it would crash on average. Everybody would crash on average per session, 2 to 4 times on average, and the Zeus would have to teleport that person back into the fight because they crashed out, and that was such a norm. Like it wasn't like fuck I crashed. It was more like hey guys I crashed. I'm gonna load back up as fast as I can. That was the norm for Arma back in the day. If you played it modded, yeah, everybody remembers that, right? You guys remember that when Arma 3 used to
Yeah.
fucking crash like a goddamn bitch.
I remember it took me like a month just to complete the single player campaign because even that was really buggy.
Yeah,
I just remember Battle Log or Battle Eye just kicking people out a lot.
yeah, it was pretty bad back then. Then the 64-bit version came out, and then now you can load like
Yes.
20 fucking 30 mods, 600 mods. Some communities have like 90 fucking mods loaded, and obviously it slows down your performance on your game, but you're not crashing. That's the biggest thing. You don't crash. That was the biggest thing back then. Was like your game not crashing. Sometimes it crashes now here and there, but it's rare. It's very rare that your Arma 3 would crash modded. But yeah, that's an example of a game that like, God, dude, it went from like being like a pretty shitty game to like it's actually pretty decent nowadays.
So a
Fallout,
game,
yeah. Well, go ahead.
so a game that I want. This hadn't happened yet to it, but a game that I want this to happen to is Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
right now it's pretty terrible, to be honest. Like it crashes and just it's got really bad bugs. But I hope that with more future um, updates that it'll eventually be as good, if not better, than what Mountain Blade the original was.
$1 million, no, not even million, $1 billion fucking idea, Bannerlord. Add co-op.
I think there is a
Fucking
co-op
Yeah.
mod to it.
fucking no. I play that mod. That's not fucking co-op. It's not an actual co-op mod. Trust me. Add fucking co-op for fuck's sake. Add co-op. Like it
You got
blows my mind.
Monopoly on a really fantastic like
Yes.
gameplay. Like you,
Oh my god.
I agree.
It blows my fucking mind. So I played that mod. It's not exactly a co-op mod. It's co-op, but it's not for realsies a co-op mod. You want to know what it is? It's literally a fucking it turns your Bannerlord into a fucking MMO. And in that MMO, only up to 5 players can join a battle against any battle. You can only have up to 5 players. And it's completely PvE. There's no PvP, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
It's fucking lame. It's stupid. You can't even fucking host your own like Bannerlord world and have like 16 players join as like your own company of friends. That would be cool. That would be sick. But it's not. It's
Kind
not.
of like
People-
a Bannerlord Stellaris. That would be really cool.
Yeah, like I was just about to say that you could make like say Prov starts his own like single player game and he wants to invite people over. Like we could join up and just take the place of some existing lord in his single player game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
you
pretty
have
cool
fun
too.
with that.
I think honestly, so for some people, they don't even really care about the whole like taking over as being a lord. They just want to like be a part of someone's party and then fight the battles with that person. That's really all some people want, and honestly, that's all I want with Battlelord. God,
Yep.
bro.
People used to say Bannerlord win. Now they need to say Better Lord win.
Yeah, they still say Bannerlord win. I'll be real. I enjoy it for like for some of the stuff in it's pretty fun, but for the most part, they just need to add co-op. Like I want to be able to take ADVG guys and form our own fucking actual company of like a mini roaming band army, right? And then fight other dudes, like other enemies on the map, and that would be sick. That would be so
Be
cool.
mercenaries.
Yeah, it would be so. It blows my mind that they haven't done anything like this, bro. I'm telling you, and they have the systems to do it. They really do. The MMO mod that I told you about, that's supposedly quote unquote co-op. That just shows you that it's possible. It's fucking possible. It really does, and it's a bunch of modders did it. For fuck's sakes, makes you wonder like what are they really? Because don't get me wrong, I enjoy PvP also in Bannerlord, but I hate. There's one thing I hate about Bannerlord, and that's the second you introduce more people than just you and the other guy fighting. Bannerlord, in my opinion, has always been terrible with group PvP. Like, it's so fucking annoying to do group PvP in Bannerlord.
It was fun in the Napoleonic.
Oh, Napoleon? Yeah, that made sense. That was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that game was so much fun.
Like I play every mode. I played my favorite one was Commander mode, where you basically got
Oh,
your own,
everybody had their own. Yeah, they have a mode
yeah.
like that in Bannerlord. They have a commander mode in Bannerlord, but it's like it's not. It doesn't feel the same. It feels like I'm playing Conqueror's Blade. You guys know that game, Conqueror's Blade? It feels like I'm playing Conqueror's Blade, and I wish that wasn't the case.
I remember Commander's mode literally just being like, who can get the Zerkers or whatever to hit the enemy team first.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't like that. I just wish it was my. See, here's my problem with this, and this actually is going to go slightly veer off topic for a second. You guys know about the Battlefield 2042 thing they announced about the multiplayer servers? There's an option for servers to decorate their servers with bots. And when you introduce bots in a game like Bannerlord or Battlefield, and if you don't have enough, you don't have like a good system for it, where the game was entirely made for PvP. Oh shit! I think fireworks just went off near me.
A bit early.
Yeah, it is a little early. But the second you introduce those systems, those things without like the PV design in mind, it sucks. It fucking sucks. Either the bot is too easy, or they're too hard and they're too robotic. You know, there's never a. It's actually fun and challenging. It's more like they're too easy to shoot or they're too hard to shoot. Armor 3 suffers from this problem a lot. Either the enemy is too easy or they're too hard. There's no balance for it because there's no design system for this. The game was never made for co-op in mind, which is very funny that they push for that a lot.
Because I've noticed in Arma, like the mods, if you make the AI like harder, they don't actually become smarter. They shoot
better. They just shoot better. Yeah.
So like they're still standing in the open, but they headshot you from like a kilometer away.
Yeah. Then the firefights just don't feel as rewarding because they're like, if you die, it's frustrating. If you kill them too easily, it's not as rewarding. Some games do it really well because they included the PvE aspect with it in mind. And I'll give you an example: is Titanfall 2 or the Titanfall series. When you play a multiplayer match, it's just a 5-on-5 or 6-on-6, but the map is decorated with these bots, and they're actually not there to be super challenging. They're there as like what you call like loot pinatas, kind of like in League when you last hit a mob to get gold. They're there so you can build up your Titan points faster, on top of getting kills for other pilots. They're not meant to be like they'll kill you. I mean, they can kill you if you're being stupid, and I've seen them kill players, but like, I mean, they're likely not going to, and that's a big deal, I think.
I know you don't really like Tarkov all too much, but I think that they've implemented a PvE plus PvP system fairly decently.
My only issue is that game also suffers. The PvE suffers from it's too powerful enemy AI that's more frustrating to play against. I played it a couple months ago, and I'm not saying Tarkov's a bad game. I just don't think I have the time at the moment to really dive into it, because a game like that for me, I'd like to dump at least 100 to 150 hours into it before I want to say anything about it. But
you kind of need to, honestly.
Yeah, you do. That's just how I saw it. It's a difficult learning curve that I don't mind. It's a niche. Some players don't like that. I personally like it, but I know my personality with games is that I'm gonna dive 100, 150 hours into it before I finally like realize what the deeper levels of the game is. And with some of the systems of the game kind of annoy me, that kind of kept me away from it. So that's why I'm just gonna like not play it for a while, and then maybe one of these days I'll play it. When they introduce like the open world, and when they introduce like the urban environment, maybe I'll play it then. But I mag dumped into one of the raid bosses with an MP5. I mag dumped I think like 40 rounds. Granted, it was probably shitty ammo. I think I was using some shitty ammo or something like that. But like it's kind of like, damn, bro, like that's just frustrating. You know what I mean? In a shooter that like you die in one bullet, but you mag dump someone else and you die instead. It's kind of like that just gets frustrating to me. It's kind of like Arma. You're hiding in a bush, some guy shoots you across like 300 meters with a headshot somehow, one bullet, like the AI. That's just frustrating to me. The PvP is good. I enjoy the PvP, because I'm pretty sure even with a good armor, you'd mag dump 30 rounds and someone. I'm pretty sure they're gonna die for the most part. I think.
Well, especially if you hit their legs mainly.
Yeah.
If you have like shitty ammo.
Yeah, you magged up
there
their
was
rounds.
there was another game IP where it wasn't necessarily a shitty launch. In fact, I think it's the greatest FPS game of all time by far. Is the Stalker series. I only say that half sarcastically, but like the vanilla Stalker games. I exclude Clear Sky because I don't. Most people agree it wasn't that great. But the vanilla versions of those games were pretty fair, bare bones, right? But the modding scene literally kept that series alive for what was like, I think, almost 10 years now. And then now,
Stalker
yeah,
Stalker is literally the shooter version of Skyrim.
yeah, essentially, like,
Because Skyrim is the same thing. It's a good game, but vanilla Skyrim is so dog shit. If you think about it, like some of the systems in vanilla Skyrim is so dog shit. But you play it modded, it transforms into a whole different fucking game, bro. Just like Stalker. Stalker, like I feel the same way about Stalker as I do Skyrim. It's a good game. It's a really good game. The fact that they added modding support is what really makes it good. Because if you play like here's how I do Elder Scrolls playthrough. It's like the first time you play it vanilla. You don't really add many mods, and it was a great game. It's an enjoyable experience. But after you play it for like a couple weeks, you kind of start to realize some of the problems with the game. Same thing with Stalker. It's a good game, but then you start to realize some of the problems with the game after like a couple weeks. Then you download mods, and it changes to like this game that like is like godly. You know what I mean? And yeah, 100%. That's what I was talking about the other day when I was like, I feel like some of the enemies were bullet sponges in Stalker when I first played it, and and I wish it wasn't like that, but that's just sometimes the design. Some people think that's like good design is to make enemies like just more spongy.
me
And
personally, I kind of liked it just because I'm a head clicker guy. So, but yeah, it's all preference.
yeah, it's definitely, but it's the fact that modding support just made it so you can install mods that made it so your bullets are deadlier, but it was a two-way street. Like it made it so you were also dying faster, so it made it more shooter-esque, I guess. And hardcore version of of the game. And that's what I preferred. Was when I played Stalker, I wanted a more hardcore version of the game where if you literally died to like one bullet sometimes from just some random scav, and that's I enjoy that when it comes to hardcore games like that. I wish Stalker 2 was co-op. I wish it was. I'm actually surprised they didn't add co-op to Stalker 2 when they announced it.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that they're just gonna stick to the fundamentals of that franchise and focus on like the single player because that's what it's always been. I'm sure maybe because they said that they were gonna add modded support to that, so
So
maybe
maybe someone
yeah.
mod co-op. Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna write it off. I mean, I'll still probably play it too, because like I still enjoy my fair share of single player games. Uh, but I think when it comes to nowadays, I just wish there were more co-op games available. Because if you think about it, like there's not many out there anymore. They're all either like super PvP or super single player, and that's it.
I just want to see like Lost Planet 2, but better.
I
Oh,
would
bro, I've been trying to remember that game forever.
Lost Planet.
That
Yeah,
was
Lost
a good
Planet was cool.
series. Yeah, that was an awesome series.
Yeah, that was such a good series for PlayStation. Yeah, if you haven't checked it out, check out Lost Planet on the PlayStation. I think they have PC ports now too, so you can check it out on Steam.
They do have it on PC, but you got to jump through a shitload of hoops to make that stuff work. It's been
And
made like a PlayStation sort of thing.
not only that, but I'll be real, you're ultimately buying Lost Planet for the single player experience nowadays. I think there's rarely anyone playing it multiplayer, and if there are, like they're probably going to be really sweaty. It's not going to be the same as it was when it first came out.
And honestly, like I played, even when there was a lot of people playing multiplayer, I enjoyed the, playing the Lost Planet 2 on single player. Like the AI companions you get, they're not smart, but they don't. It's designed around that, so if they die, it doesn't like count against you or anything.
Yeah. Moving on to the next topic. Is there anyone want to also add to that? Games that suck but post support made them better. Moving on to the next topic at hand, that we kind of want to touch on. I think a lot of people want to talk about this. So recently, on PC Gamer, a Destiny 2 streamer was recently banned for cheating. Okay, and he claimed that he didn't cheat. But the thing is, though, they found like that it was not a. They found out that he was actually cheating. And they posted like the thing in response to it. Uh, he said it's like kind of ridiculous, and it's like you know what I mean. He got kind of mad at like cheaters had been playing for months and stuff, and they kind of doubled down on it and then posted like the information. So he goes, one of the guys said it took some time to triple check with our security team. We have detected 2 accounts under your ownership using cheat tweets while playing Destiny 2 and have banned 4 accounts in total. And it includes ban evasion is one of the final ones. This is our final communication on this matter. So yeah, you know what I mean? It's like that guy got kind of embarrassed. You know what I mean? Which reminds me of the other thing was the Valorant streamer. There was a Valorant streamer who was like in the top 50 or something like that in the world, and it turns out he was cheating. Fuck, dude, you made it in the top 50 and you were cheating this whole time, bro. Fucking hell, dude. Cheating in games, bro. That's our topic for the next topic. Fucking cheating in games.
I don't know. I never do it. Even in single player, I feel dirty. Like if
Really,
I
I don't mind. I don't mind like doing it in a single player game, like here and there, like especially if like there's something ridiculous, like The Witcher 3. My save bugged out, and so I used cheats to rebuild my save to get back to the point where I was. Because I don't want to fucking grind in a single player game all over again after my save was corrupted. You know, it's stuff like that. I don't mind.
Honestly, like the only single player game, or like mainly the only game period that I ever cheated in was RimWorld, because that game cheats you constantly. So I cheat back.
I mean, like I don't like I said, I don't mind single player because like honestly, the only experience is that you're ruining with cheating would be yourself, technically. If you're if at that, you know? But cheating in fucking multiplayer games, bro, fuck off of that shit. Fuck off of that shit, dude. That is the worst.
The
I
only
act-
time I could possibly be empathetic towards cheaters in multiplayer games is if like they're not like negatively impacting people, they're just like they're like playing a joke or whatever. Like they're just doing some like funny stuff, but it's not like affecting, you know, let's say it's like a game that's not super competitive, but someone like joins in and they're like really goofed up their avatar and like they're clearly hacking, but you know, they're not necessarily making a negative experience for people. In that aspect, you know, I don't really mind it if people are gonna like cheat, but it's those like competitive environments where they're trying to get an unfair advantage where it's so lame.
What are you gonna say, Boa?
I was just gonna say, like people who are in those positions, like they're famous, and I just don't understand why they spend all that time cheating just to become famous and then get found out, and then basically their careers are ruined.
Yep.
It's not worth it.
There was a video of a guy who went to a LAN tournament for Counter Strike, and the judges noticed something weird about the guy from the spectator clip. Okay, and because they noticed something weird, they went over to him and wanted to look at his computer, and he wouldn't let them. And this is not like on like his personal computer. This is at a LAN tournament where like these other computers like they set up for them to fight. You know, like just like in.
yeah.
And he wouldn't let them. There's this whole like there's a video where you can watch where like the dude literally would not. He like it almost got physical. You know, it was that bad. And his teammates were like, "Yo, just let him look at your computer, bro. It's not a big deal. He's really not cheating." You know. And it turns out the guy, when he connects his mouse and he plugs in something, he loads a cheat and renames the cheat to word.wps on the computer. And it found out he was cheating. Damn, that is
It's a bummer you gotta have to do something like that.
dude, that is fucking crazy. Imagine if we were playing, right? And this is the shitty part. Imagine if we were playing New World, okay? And it turns out that one of our guys was aimbotting with a musket. Obviously, the first thing we do is we kick him out. He's not allowed to play with us anymore. Like straight up, he wouldn't be allowed to play with us anymore because I don't condone that fucking like level of cheating in PvP aspects. I fucking feel shitty when someone else ruins my gaming experience by cheating against me. You know, it just what's the point of me fucking playing at that point? You know, so when if someone on our team were to do it, I wouldn't condone it. It's just not cool with me. It ruins the experience for somebody else, you know.
I totally agree with that.
Like it just sucks, bro. Like how shitty would we feel if someone was doing that, bro? It would just like negate everything that we been doing the whole time. It would nullify all of our achievements. I'd have to like be on this on Twitch and apologize, be like, hey, listen, we did not know this guy was cheating. I'm sorry, you know, like I'm so sorry that I'll even give up all of our territory and retake it, legit, if that was the case.
I will say, like, in that sort of specific situation, I wouldn't be able to understand the mindset of someone cheating like that, because the musket playstyle to me was low key boring. So to add like cheats on top of that, you're just making a to me what was a boring playstyle just completely
I
like
mean,
mindless at that point.
you got to keep in mind, cheaters don't give a fuck about about any of that shit. They just want to win. Like for some reason, they want something to play for them to win. They just want the dopamine of winning. They don't really give a fuck about actually playing. You know, like and it's subjective. Some people really enjoy the bent musket playstyle. Actually, like Niren really loves headshotting people with a musket, so that's what he's gonna do on launch. I guess I personally enjoyed muskets if it was more powerful. If they were way more powerful, like you know what I mean, like overpowered, then I would just have all of us roll muskets into siege, bring 50 fucking muskets, and just shoot people the whole fucking time.
Yeah, I would like the muskets a lot more if their headshot multiplier was bigger.
But here's the thing though, I'm glad that it's not. I'm glad it's not.
Because people like me would fucking destroy
It
people.
would just be like fucking so annoying to like deal with muskets the whole time, and especially now that they took out the bubble, the life sack bubble, you know. But it's wild, dude. Cheating has gone so rampant. One of my recent experiences with cheating is play Call of Duty Modern Warfare quite often quite often. You know, for the last 2 years, that's one of my main games. About last week, I uninstalled the game finally because I believe I was shadow banned by matchmaking. I think I was shadow banned by matchmaking for the amount of reports I receive as a player because I would get into a game, right? And on average, I'd play 10 games. 7 of those 10 games, there'd be some kind of fucking wall hack fucking guy. And it's not even like I'm accusing these guys of cheating because I suck. It's like literally if you look at the death cam, you can see the person point at the U marker, like it tells you that where you are at on the death cam, and the guy would look at you through the wall and then look at where you're about to be. That's how you tell. That's how you can tell if someone's cheating in Call of Duty. And it was so frustrating, infuriating that I stopped playing for a little bit. I uninstalled the game. I don't think I'll come back if 2042 is around the corner and New World is. And it kind of sucks because Call of Duty was like my go-to, like jump on, shoot shit, and get off kind of shit. And oh man, it sucks. I enjoy that game so much. And I believe I was shadow banned. And playing against cheaters fucking ruins it, bro. It ruins the game. Fuck. Any of you guys have like experience with cheaters, bro? That's the worst. But what about PlanetSide, Ziller? Was anyone caught cheating in the PlanetSide 2 community?
You know, honestly, like the only person in recent memory, and it's very like controversial and debatable about it. There's this guy called Hey Pro in PlanetSide, and see the thing about him is it's funny. Like full disclosure, because I'm like I used to play Roblox, right? Uh, I used to play that a lot, and he was on that community a lot, and he was reputed for like just being extremely mechanically skilled in that environment. So, I saw him go to Planet Side, and he's like getting really good stats and just shooting the fuck out of people, and I wasn't surprised at all. I was like, yeah, well, he's very mechanically skilled. But then like he like started uploading footage, and he started like uploading his gameplay, and I'll be honest with you, like I don't it didn't look like normal human mouse movement, to say at least. It was quite interesting the way he aimed, if he was aiming at all. But that's the thing though, because it's so weird because it was players like him where you have that doubt, but at the same time you know that he's very mechanically skilled. Like he is legitimately very mechanically skilled. He grinds Kovacs endlessly. But then you see that footage and you're just thinking like, is he cheating? Like, is he like honestly doing that, and a lot of other players were suspecting he was cheating too, and then you had many others that were just saying, "Oh no, he's not cheating. He's just a very good, shooter player." That's the only guy I could recall in recent memory that was like highly like controversial that could have been suspected for cheating in PlanetSide. He wasn't really involved in the competitive scene either. I guess another player, Flair's Zest, people thought he was kind of suspicious too. But honestly, I didn't really have too many issues with cheaters in PlanetSide. And the only kinds I could think of were not aimbots. It was just people that would glitch under the map and just shoot you from there.
You know what's
Yeah.
crazy? Oh, go ahead, Bubba.
I was just gonna say, yeah, I remember that being a bug in PlanetSide 2 that I played on the Miller server, and that happened all the time. People would get onto the map and just shoot you through the where you couldn't
Oh,
see
that's
them.
right. That happened to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that I experienced more bug exploits in PlanetSide than I did actual hacking.
So real quick, I want to show you guys this guy right here, and this guy is so controversial because his aim is so ridiculous. I personally don't think he's cheating. I think people can arrive at this. There's like that rare person, and usually it's an Asian that can arrive at this level of of craziness.
Oh damn, he's a Phantom Forces player too.
Yeah, he plays Phantom Force now apparently. I want you guys. I'm gonna share my my screen so you guys don't have to look at the thing. So you guys can look on the Discord stream, okay? So you guys don't have to look at the stream. But I want you to look at this guy's his aim, okay? I'll play this video. This guy is controversial. So many people are 100% sure he's hacking. Personally, I don't think he's hacking.
I will say that was pretty fucking quick.
What?
Apparently, he's showing his gameplay and he's legit.
What sensitivity is he playing that though to like make those transitions?
And they look robotic as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Because like once he makes a transition, it looks fairly smooth. So I'm wondering like how he does that.
That is some insane tracking and such.
Yeah, I could show you some of like Hey Pro's footage if you don't mind, because I don't know. I want to see what your guys' take is on what he does.
Okay, go ahead and send it to me in Discord, and I'll or send it to me on Steam. I'd probably better do Steam because then if I click the Discord, it'll switch to Discord. But yeah, apparently this guy's not cheating. This is some crazy aim and tracking. It's not just aim; it's crazy tracking too. Okay, I'll put this guy's video. Okay, we're gonna take a look at this guy too. This is the guy that you were talking about earlier. I think all of us have played PlanetSide enough to be a little more be able to add more on this than the Battlefield guy. But that Battlefield guy, Neo Ninja, is like a really popular one. Oh yeah, let's look at what's up.
Yeah, I also added his Kovacs footage. But yeah, that's his aim, and yeah, no, it's pretty controversial, and a lot of people are pretty certain that he's hacking.
I mean, has SOEs has DBG said anything about this guy? Does he play
No,
in the?
I don't think DBG has said anything.
They probably don't even give a fuck about something.
I do remember on the Miller server there was a guy who played VS and he was infiltrator only and only used snipers. And everybody thought he was hacking because he had like an 80% headshot rate. Like it was fucking ridiculous how good he was.
So I think here it gets pretty weird with
Okay. So right here, it is a little weird. So I'm not sure how he knew that guy was around the corner. Right here. So he's pre-aiming this guy right here. He knows he's gonna peek. Boom, that guy pops out and he started shooting, right? Then he starts pieing the corner like he knew that corner's clear. There's no assumption that corner is fucking clear. There could be 2 more people around that corner. And then he kind of pies and shoots here. And then that guy just walks into a shot by accident. So that didn't really look sus.
But now that shot right there looked pretty strange. And then that was like really weird with the commissioner.
I mean, like, I'll be real. It does look sus, and his headshot ratio is a little too high. I think on sessions, like usually
Well,
headshot
so-
ratios is like your headshot ratio, depending on who you play, what gun you use. Typically, it's not higher than 50 or 60. It's usually like at least like maybe lower than that. I mean, unless you can say something different with the
So
headshot
like
ratio.
I can get like if I'm really trying, I could probably get like a 43, 44%. And I'm
Yeah,
not the
that's
best aimer.
but that's crazy that this guy. I think like the world record for some games is like a 35% headshot ratio or something like that. I mean, actually, I take it back. How does this thing calculate headshot ratio though? Is it only calculating the kills he
Last
gets?
hit.
Last hit. Okay. Yeah, that's a little sus. I don't know. Is there anyone that's more headshot ratio than this guy on Planet Side?
Honestly, I don't know if Sefuku or Nakahira or whatever what he goes by. He had a pretty wicked headshot ratio. There's a guy called I think man, I forgot his name.
I mean, some
I
of
don't know.
this
He was
doesn't look too crazy.
yeah, but it is some parts are definitely
Some is definitely, yeah.
raise some eyebrows for sure.
But Planet Side is far more forgiving when it comes to headshot. Like it's a bit easier to pull off than most games.
But no, I've seen
It's been an experience.
there are some players that are claim to be legit that have actual like higher like IVI stats. So if you guys know what IVI is, it's just
Yeah, intervals.
well,
right?
IVI is your overall accuracy times your headshot rate, and there are players that are claimed to be legit that have a higher IVI than this guy does.
I mean, that's a weird way to put an IBI. Battlefield IBIs are your interburst intervals, which is basically how fast you can reapply your burst.
So this is where it gets I say pretty weird because he'll like shoot at someone and he'll track through a box and continue to shoot.
Is this
like right there.
crosshair? Is this crosshair allowed? This crosshair placement?
Yeah, he's got the recursion overlay.
Yeah, so the recursion overlay lets you get a fucking crosshair in the center of your screen.
Yeah,
Why don't they just fucking make this part of the default game?
too lazy. I don't know.
That's kind of. I find it kind of dumb that when people do shit like this, like they add the fucking cross. It's a blatant advantage. Do you agree? This is an advantage, like the crosshair in the middle.
Yeah, like I'm gonna use that shit if I'm doing a competitive event because everyone else is using it.
It doesn't make any sense why they don't just make that part of the fucking normal game. If this is like allowed, I would honestly, if I was an FPS developer, right, and I wanted to make, if I didn't want to include a crosshair like this, I don't think you should be able to use a third party mod to give you this advantage. And the fact that that's like even encouraged in competitive is an exact reason why some of the competitive things in PlanetSide's dog shit to me. Like it's so stupid. Why is this allowed? I think if you do this in CS:GO, I think this isn't it not allowed in CS:GO?
Well, there's no point because they already have their own crosshair support to like really customize the shit out of it. So they
Yeah.
probably wouldn't give a fuck.
No, but I'm saying like if you use an overlay to add it in, I don't think it's allowed.
Probably not, but it's redundant in that kind of shooter.
No, it's not fully redundant. If I remember correctly, some of the sniper rifle, the op and the scout, it doesn't have its own crosshair.
Okay, yeah, in that sense, it would make sense. Also, probably if you're like flashed or something, because I don't know if you can see your crosshair.
You can't. You can't see
yeah.
anything with it's flashed. Yeah, I don't know. I think that alone is already telling. Like, this is, you know what I mean? That alone already tells me that like it's kind of dumb, but whatever. I'll be real. It doesn't look fully legit, but it definitely doesn't look too sus. Like I'm not too sus about this guy yet.
Yeah, and if you want to look at his Kovacs footage too, because I sent that to you as well, just to give you an idea of his mechanical skill.
We can take a little bit of it, but we're not gonna do the full video. I don't want to spend the whole time looking at him. This is what Kovacs looks like.
Yeah, it's just a aim trainer basically for sweaty people like me.
I mean, so far it doesn't look too crazy.
That's pretty good tracking right there.
That is, but it doesn't look too like ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It definitely doesn't look like he's cheating, but I mean, he's definitely very good at tracking.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this guy's cheating. or at least that's my assumption. But people swear by that he's cheating. Maybe there's some of the people who think they're cheating. I hate. I think that's one of the things I probably have with.
Because I talked to this a lot with one of the players. His take was like a lot of people claim he's cheating because a lot of PlanetSide 2 players are insecure as fuck about their own and overestimate their own FPS skill.
Yeah,
So that when they
that's
see an
definitely-
outsider come in and start wrecking shit, they start like, throwing fingers and just saying, "Oh, he's a fucking cheater." And
do you want to know why? Is that fucking dangerous elitist mentality that PlanetSide has? That alone killed a good chunk of the community. PlanetSide veterans who are still playing the game to have this elitist mentality are part of the reason why there isn't that many people to shoot at anymore.
yeah, a lot of people complain about the new player experience and how shit it is, and then these
Because-
same guys are like these guys. They seem the same guys. They like lick their chops at the idea of a bunch of new players showing up, and they get all their buddies, and they're just like, "Hey, let's go farm. We're gonna go kill everybody now."
So this is actually we're gonna touch on. You know what? This wasn't a topic, but I actually want to. We're gonna explore this topic. This is gonna be a surprise extra topic. Let's add this into the schedule. PlanetSide KD ratio means fuck all to me. Means fuck all to anyone else. The people that circle jerk around PlanetSide 2 KD ratios can suck my dick. Want to know why? Because your KD ratio is based on you hunting down people who are either new at the fucking game, or you're abusing some kind of angle that some fucking people don't know about, or you're sitting in a tank far enough back to shoot into a fucking spawn room where the shield doesn't render anymore. Like, holy fuck, does that blow my mind?
Yeah, that or like you just have a farming playstyle and you're not focused because players that are like in a group or like in a outfit and they're like focusing on point holds and just trying to take bases and stuff, you will not have the same KD ratio in that as someone who's just farming. And I can say that firsthand. That you will have a significantly worse stats if you're playing as a team and trying to take like bases and stuff because
Yeah.
you are putting yourself in like you're almost putting yourself in deliberately bad situations and in just like pure like catastrophe hotspots all the time.
Yeah, and a lot of these dudes will avoid a big firefight where they can't flank. Do you know what I'm talking about? These farmer
Yeah,
guys
like-
they want medium fights where there's angles that no one's watching. So they can push it and then flank a bunch of people who aren't looking that direction, and then they get like 4 or 5 kills. Then they're like, "Oh, look at me! I'm circle jerk. I'm so good at this fucking game." Like, "Oh shit! I killed like a bunch of people who are probably very new at the game." And like even Call of Duty fucking KD ratios, even though how they sometimes get inflated, probably mean more than a PlanetSide 2 KD ratio. Just because one, you can win with a KD ratio in PlanetSide. You can't, or sorry, Call of Duty, but you can't really win with just a KD ratio in PlanetSide. And then two, there's skill-based matchmaking in fucking Call of Duty. PlanetSide's matchmaking system is literally you running to a base. You could be you 1 hour into the game, run into a base, playing against a guy who circle jerked 15,000 hours to the fucking game and killing you 20 times. And then he's like, "Oh, look at my KD ratio. It's so good." It's one of the biggest problems with PlanetSide. It's like this mentality that all it is just fucking getting kills. Like it's just kills. It's like, is that really all you fucking care about? Go play Call of Duty. Like literally, go
Like-
play Call of Duty.
One of the biggest mistakes that they ever did was like allow like stats like kills per minute and just KDR to exist. Like they should have never had that in.
They never should have. They never should have.
Because
A
if
game
I
like
recall, the original PlanetSide did not have those stats, right?
it didn't. The only thing it did track your kills, but you couldn't see it. And the only thing it had was like your rank. It would, because your experience, the kills you got would affect your rank, and the higher rank you were, the more experience you're worth. Sometimes in games like PlanetSide, you don't get more experience for killing a high ranked player,
The only time you get more experience is if someone's like
a bounty
killing
or something like that.
the bounty, or like someone's like an extreme menace, like
Oh,
they're just
yeah,
killing
yeah.
a shitload of people.
Yeah, this fucking shit doesn't make any sense to me. It's part of the reason why so many groups quit. Because you got this crowd of people who came into PlanetSide 2 from PlanetSide 1 where that wasn't like the focus. Like, if we're looking for a shooter that's like stat based, an MMO, a fucking MMO, is the worst place to look for stats. There's so many ways to inflate your stats in the most cheesiest way ever that it's not worth tracking. It literally is not worth tracking. Um, if we were to actually like make PlanetSide like not like that, it would have been way more successful. More players would have gone in and played it. More newer players would have understood that hell, they're not going to die fucking 50 times and get reminded that they died 50 times. You know, like
Yeah, that's like the worst thing is like it's very discouraging to like be new to because PlanetSide is a very daunting new player experience.
yeah, it's a dog eat dog world with you're not joining an outfit as a new player.
Yeah, so you're dying constantly, and then you're just pressing tab, and you just see like, oh well, I killed 2 people, but I died like 50 fucking times.
And the worst part is, like I said, the elite players, they fucking circle jerk off this shit. They fucking like they circle jerk to the point where like they're so proud of it. It's like you're proud of making some new guy quit and kill him 30 times. Like that's fun to you. Like I don't know,
Yeah,
dude. And then
when you're part of an outfit, it's more like you don't care if you keep dying because it's sometimes it's part of the strategy to just throw bodies on that at a
yeah,
point, you know.
part of the
So,
strategy is you need that amount of people to push that point. And I
Yeah.
think what a lot of elite outfits don't realize, and they talk shit on these bigger outfits for, is one, organization of large number of people. That's a fucking skill. That is a fucking skill in itself. The fact that PlanetSide doesn't even track this or want to give it any attention, or even want to give it any like rating a leader or give him like a command rank,
Well, the
blows
closest
my
they have
mind.
to that is the commander helmet.
Oh,
but
I
that's
know,
like,
yeah. But that's like a ribbon you farm. It's like it's not even really like an actual like thing that should pop up on your fucking leaderboard, like top leaderboard. Like all these, this guy commands like 48 players or like and they all capped a point together to constantly how many bases they capped as a group, etc. You know what I mean? Or like some kind of like a metric to measure this, but they don't. Like people would be like they shit on these Zerg fits, right? They shit on these Zerg fits. Oh, this is fucking great. Okay, I remember this actually. What was that? What was that Banning outfit when we played last year? What was that Banning
AC.
outfit?
oh
What's
wait,
up?
the B-Way.
No. I don't give a fuck about any of those outfits. I'm talking about this big outfit. It's like a
Oh,
considered Zerg.
SKL. Yeah, fucking SKL.
I don't know if it's SKL. It might be a different outfit.
Because SKL was like Vanu AOD.
Cats? Something cats?
Oh yeah, Vanu Cats.
I think it's Vanu Cats. I don't remember. I can't remember the exact Vanny name. I'm sorry, I don't remember this outfit name.
I think it's Vanu Sovereignty Cats.
I think so too. I think that's what it is. And I remember like talking about how wow, that outfit is like, pretty decent. I came back to the scene. I don't know fucking anybody except like the OG boys who were around when we were around. And then later on, Shadowwell and Irish messaged me and be like, "Yo, do you think they're good? That's like kind of fucked up. Like, I don't think they're good at all." And I'm sitting there like, "Well, they pushed a max crash that almost wiped us off the fucking point. I think that's fucking good." You know what I mean?
That's because that's VCat's like signature move. All they do is max crash. We joke about it constantly.
But I mean, to be fair, that's power. That's raw power on a live server that can if that outfit can push me off the point with VG on the point, that's organization and skill. You know what I mean? Like the fact that that's looked down on is what's wrong with the PlanetSide 2 community. That's what's wrong with it. It's like it's this idea that you're not allowed to group up together with more than 20 fucking people in a squad. The second you do, you're accused of zerging. And it's like, okay, like what? How am I supposed to play an MMO that literally has a platoon menu to give me like 48 people and an outfit fucking thing that has no limit to how many people I can pull in my outfit, and a game that glorifies fucking big battles, and that's their niche, is that they glorify big battles, and these are supposed to be like really fun big battles. But the second you get in, the community is like, yo, fuck big battles, Like the whole point is to fucking farm medium dudes and circle jerk KD, and anyone who does anything is fucking shit. Zerg outfits are shit. That is the general mentality of that community and game, and that's part of the problem, bro. Like that's like, why would you do that to a game where the life is based on big battles? Do you see how hypocritical that is? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very counterproductive
It's-
mindset.
And they messaged me and they're like, yeah, like an outfit like B-Way is better. Okay, that's cool. B-Way is better infantry wise for man, but do they have 100 fucking people? Did they get 100 people to that to that level? Do they get 200 people to that level? are they able to wipe off like a 200 player outfit on a point with like a fucking strategy or tactics to pull off? No, actually correct me if I'm wrong. So do they have that?
Probably not like 100 or 200 people, but
Probably 48, right?
they can definitely pull some. They're definitely capable of pulling some like kooky shit.
Yeah, like 48 people, right? A platoon's usually what they operate at.
I would say nowadays probably like half of a platoon, but back when they could field a whole platoon,
But-
they were pretty reckonable force.
But that's the thing. It's like at that point, I still don't consider that like the level of what you need to get at. The whole like idea of skill. You can. It's like this is where PlanetSide 2 thinking is so fucking reverse and backwards. Okay, check this out. What do you think takes more skill? Taking like 50 people who fucking suck dick at shooting, right? Versus 24 dudes who are really fucking good at like FPS in general. And then which group do you think you'd roll with? Just give me your honest thought. Which group would you think you'd rather?
You'd
go
always
with?
want to roll with like
The better
the
guys,
sweaty
right?
people,
The
yeah.
sweatier guys, right? Now take the 50 dudes who fucking suck dick at shooting and try to beat 24 fucking dudes who are sweaty. That is hard. That is hard. That is fucking hard. Like when I say that, I'm coming from the like VG. We took anyone, people who couldn't shoot the broadside of a fucking barn, and would push these other outfits off the point. Whether it's because we had numbers or not, or some crazy flank maneuver we did where we put a bunch of people on the same side, or we use teamwork that the game encourages, reviving people, etc. You know what I mean? And people look down on it, and it's like, oh, that's shitty. It's like, yeah, well, I didn't fucking like take 24 sweaty dudes only. Like I legit took shitty players. I took shitty players. Not that I'm saying everybody in VG is shitty, but I'm saying I took anyone of any skill level, and that was way harder than it is to run some elite farming outfit that only takes people with like a KD fucking like what was B-Way's entry KD thing?
So they had like their feeder fit, which is like
The actual B-Way, right?
Well, they had the feeder fit called L-Way, and that was like
Yeah.
to train them up. And then B-Way, and I think the requirement was something like close to like a 2 KDR.
Yeah. Yeah, you see what I'm talking about? You see what I'm talking about? So it's like they just took these dudes who were already good and just were like, yeah, and then made them even better and worked together. And it's like, okay, now you have an outfit, a full. It's like, imagine if you went into a game and you took the top 4 fucking players of the leaderboard in like some battle royale. Then you went and started stomping at everybody and like, oh yeah, I'm the greatest outfit, ever. And it's like, do you know how dumb that sounds? Do you know what I'm saying? Look how dumb that sounds.
The main issue I had with it is like, you got so much like VS on Emerald at least has so much power creep. Like, all these if you want to be a sweaty dude, you just go VS, and then VS just magically wins like close to 50% of the alerts.
Yeah.
So if you're not playing VS, you're just gonna have a shittier time than the VS players.
Yeah.
And it's not great.
I think it takes more skill to win with people. Like it's much more rewarding for people with less skill level to win using teamwork than a bunch of people who are already like really good at FPS in general to win. I think that's more satisfying. Like I not that I'm saying people who are less skilled level should always win or anything, and I'm not saying like people who are really good at the game shouldn't get any recognition. It's just the elitist mentality needs to go away. You know what I mean? Like the fact that people don't recognize like organization as a skill level in that game is what's also part of the problem. Like organizing 24 dudes is not that hard. It really isn't. That's coming from someone who has 15 years of like leading raids, like leading guilds, leading like platoons of people. Like the most I ever commanded in my life in this game, in video games in general, was when we played FNO 61, episode 61 on PlanetSide 2. I was in command of 300 fucking people. 300 fucking people. We were literally a percentage of the continent's population. That's crazy. And that takes a degree of skill. It's a skill in real life that's considered its own major in colleges. It's called like human management or something like that, or something. And that's a skill that's highly valued in the military. Is your ability to lead large amounts of people. But it's the fact that in video games, people don't realize that's a fucking skill. Like, especially in PlanetSide, where leadership should be considered a big skill. It's such an undervalued, such under-talked skill that it killed its own community. Leaders like me, leaders from other groups, they quit the game because why would I do this if all you get is nothing from the developers, nothing from the community, and nothing from the game. You don't get anything out of it. Oh, we give you a helmet. That helmet was the only thing leaders got in a matter of like 8 years, 7 years, 6 years, something like that.
Pretty
7 years.
much, yeah, the only thing that they got.
Yeah.
And then maybe they can use the fucking outfit resources or whatever to orbital strike a point or whatever. But
Yeah. And that's all we got. And even then, like, you know what didn't make any sense about that? People could just make their own fucking outfits, farm the resource in a solo fucking outfit, and then use it, and then transfer people between these outfits, and then use it. That sounds so fucking backwards to me, bro. Anyway, yeah, that's part of the issue that why PlanSide just falls on its own weight.
well, honestly, that sort of tied into like the guild culture topic right there.
Yeah, we're gonna go into that in a second, but that's PlanSide for you, bro. That is why I wanted to add that real quick, because that's actually a topic that no one ever talks about, or not no one, but it rarely gets talked about. Or you tell me, Zilla, you were with that community longer than we were in the recent years.
See, it's interesting because I come from like the sweatier side, and like I can definitely, attest to like we'll be, because the whole trope with like DD12 at least was like we want to see like how many people we could fight against and then still get the base. But despite that, like we'll be going up against a bunch of people and we'll just get mad. Like some guys will get irritated because it's like, oh well, they just won because they had so many fucking people or whatever. And I didn't really care. I was just like, well.
I mean, that's part of
Kinda
the
how it that's
part of
kinda
an
how it
MMO.
works.
Yeah, you get
It's
outnumbered. I wouldn't
kinda
get
part of the whole
mad.
game.
I wouldn't get
But
mad at someone outnumbering me in PlanSide. I actually welcome it.
yeah, well, we often brag about it too. It's just like, oh well, it took like 4-1 pop for them to drive us out finally and everything. But there is definitely a sentiment of like, skilled players, like skilled outfits have like this hatred towards
The big groups.
the larger groups. When in reality, like if DD12 was working alongside, say, like AOD or 1TR or something, like just working directly along with them, because like that's how like the military works too. You don't just send Delta Force single-handedly to do something. Like a lot of the times they're getting buffed up by like Rangers or like other units as well, and that's what like really allows them to do their work is they get support from larger groups that may not be as skilled, but they enable them to optimize their mission. So
Yeah, you need it. You need it. It's like in order to destroy a Zerg off a point, you need a counter Zerg. You need the same amount of bodies, basically. I mean, unless you do something really fucking crazy, which isn't really a reliable way.
Well, then I think a lot of people really glorify the whole just the versus like the many hyenas or whatever sort of trope or something like that.
Yeah, that doesn't. It's so stupid to me. That's part of the reason why I don't like to play it. It's because the developers chose to listen to these elitist outfits or solo players to add stuff that is solo oriented, like that doesn't have anything to do with the group. And it's like it's an MMO, for fuck's sakes. It's a group game. The whole point of it is to group up. And I think we saw that when they introduced the ASP system. You remember that?
Yeah, the whole prestige system. I honestly didn't care too much about it personally.
That's the thing. Like no. Like for me and you, we don't care about it. But it's the fact that the elitist players, solo players who farm and get high score and they rank up fast, they're complaining they don't have anything to do as a solo player, anything to work towards. For us, we're complaining we don't have any group progression. And they don't listen to us. They listen to that solo player, and they add the ASP systems. Like, what the fuck is our system for fucking group progression or something? Like we've been begging. We're the guys who fucking support this game. We're like the 60, 100 people that make the big battles happen. That this game is so is the point of the game. And when they don't even give you a bone for fucking years, why would you play the game? Why would you play that game?
Yeah, that and they did the whole like outfit wars shit too, which was
oh man, I heard the dog shit stuff about that too.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
And I just wish, like the Bastion update, the escalation update, that was a really good update. Let's give them that. We give them that was a good, but it was like a little. I'll be real, it's a little too late. Like that should have came out like 2015, 2014. if that came out then, this game's population wouldn't be that fucking low, you know? And there are indie games out there that have more of a population than this game.
Unturned.
Literally. And for a game that hypes itself on big battles, you need population. You have to have population. Ugh. I'm sorry, I'm very emotional about this subject because that was my baby. So that's the game. That was one of my favorite games in the world. PlanetSide 1 and PlanetSide 2, and just to see it oh dude, that the elitist idea is so toxic to its own community. And you know the worst part is they don't even realize they're part of the reason why people fucking quit the game, and then they complain that they don't have anyone to shoot at. Is that what happened? Like or is that a
Well, a lot of people on Reddit bring that up, and honestly, I think a lot of the veteran players it, they know deep down that that's the case, but they have some draw towards getting high stats anyways. I would know because I was one of those people. They have that dopamine. I mean, such a dopamine draw to do that. That I guess they just sort of ignore it.
yeah, and like it just if only they realize that sooner. If only the developers realize that sooner. They focus too much on trying to make this game as some kind of competitive esports shooter. Do you remember the whole MLG thing? Oh god,
Yeah,
the
what a
train wreck of the
fucking
MLG thing. Oh
yeah,
Jesus.
fucking flop. Yeah, no, like I logged pretty much exactly 130 or 1337 hours in PlanetSide, and now I don't play it anymore. It's there at the top of my Steam profile, 1337 hours. It's pretty
I
funny.
have about 2,000 hours in PlanetSide, maybe 2,500, and I to this day still think I have 50 days. I think 50 days. Let me calculate real quick. And this is not counting the beta days. 1,200 hours. I'm sorry, 1,200 hours in a retail. I have about 1,500 days. Or sorry, no, 59. It was 59 days played. 1,416. Okay, not 2,000. But I have 1,400 hours into PlanetSide before they wiped the stats for the beta. And I played the beta a lot. And
Yeah, that's a lot of time.
so that's it comes out to about 1,700 hours. But putting that much hours in the game, bro, I wish the game just. I wish people realize these things, but they don't.
So we actually sort of topped on a lot about guild culture right there. At least for like PlanetSide's dynamics, but I don't know how much about other games because to me PlanetSide was like the most experience I had with the guild dynamics.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on to the next topic. I'm sorry that PlanetSide 2 took a little longer than expected, especially since I was the only me and Zil were the only ones talking. Does anyone else want to add anything to that topic before we move on?
Huh?
That PlanetSide 2 topic?
No, I mean I pretty much agree with you guys. Yeah, I've got 1,700 hours in Planet Side, and basically the same reason I quit was why you guys quit. Just people got too sweaty. I enjoyed the big battles, and I enjoyed playing with an outfit, and now it's just who's got the highest stats, and it's not
Yeah.
ridiculous.
You
There
know, I
ain't really
will say
anything.
this. I will say this as a final note regarding PlanetSide. Like, I don't really use social media, and for the main reason, just I think it's, in a lot of ways, it may not be the greatest for your health. A lot of people like to chase numbers on there, but then I do basically I did for pretty much all of last year the exact same fucking thing of just chasing a number that was ultimately meaningless. And when I come to think about it, I ultimately enjoyed the game more when I just didn't really give a fuck. I had no awareness about stats, and I was just, playing for the mission. But then when
Yeah.
I became when I became like the stat whore, I wasn't really having fun in the game anymore. It was just chasing numbers, chasing numbers, chasing numbers, but and having that dopamine draw of just uh looking better and everything, which is exactly what a lot of kids do on social media nowadays. They're trying to chase the bigger numbers. So yeah, no, and I think a lot of sweaty players are sadly trapped in that same sort of reality of just they're trying to chase these better numbers, but are they ultimately having more fun because of it? It's probably not the case.
I mean, some people do. I'm sure some of them do.
I mean, perhaps some of them do,
I'm
but
sure someone does. But
I
it's
think a lot of them
yeah.
are
Majority,
ultimately.
funny enough, majority of players who played PlanetSide enjoyed pulling off maneuver or enjoying the big battles as a group, as with friends. Like that was one of the best things about PlanetSide was you could get 48 of your boys, go on and find a fight and apply 48 of your boys into that fight. That like you can't do that with almost any other shooter except maybe Arma. Arma is probably the only game where you can get 50 dudes into one server and just fucking go fight stuff together. Like
But
that's
it not in like a force on force though. Not
yeah,
nearly
yeah,
as
not
much
force
as
on force, but like I mean, unless it was like a scheduled PvP event, you can get that in scheduled PvP events on Arma, but not in not in PlanetSide. Even games like Squad, unless it was a prepared event, you can't do that in Squad. I think the limit to joining a server, you cannot pile 50 people from your group into a server on Squad. You could
I s-
do it in like an organized environment, but not public servers.
I still don't know a single game where you can organically on a giant map just you see another like platoon and they're all
Fight
in
each
the
other.
air. Yeah, they're all in the air, so you decide, hey, we're gonna get in the air too, and we're just gonna have a big old air battle.
Yeah, I mean that's like I said, that was the dopamine for most people. And the fact that PlanetSide doesn't want to cater to that play style was why people quit. Was why such large amount of people don't play that game. I think that game had like 75,000 concurrent players at one point, or 60. Let's take a look at this. Actually, let's look at the PlanetSide 2 stats on
I
Steam.
think the peak players that they had at one time was like 15,000 or something like that. It wasn't a huge amount, honestly, but
Yeah, it wasn't huge. It's like this, and to be fair, the Steam charts don't represent the final number. I know there's like a good chunk of players who don't use the Steam client, but for the majority of the population does use the Steam client. So we're gonna go back. Holy shit, the game never really took off.
no, it had like a really good marketing campaign in the beginning, and then it just died. And then like construction came out, which was kind of interesting for a little bit.
I think the PlayStation 4 player base is not even that high either. I think it was a
Dude,
flop.
I think that they fucked up so hard trying to focus on PlayStation 4. Like they should have just never made that promise to begin with. I
Yeah.
get that they were Sony Online Entertainment at the time, but still, it was
This
it-
this is the highest player count they had last year since
it's not even that high.
the last time they saw numbers like that was 2015 January when people were still actively playing. When we were still actively playing. And that was the last time they saw and the numbers. That's the last time I saw numbers like that. All right, let's look at it in the last all time. Yeah, the game just kind of stabilized with its own niche community. That was I think March 2020 last year was the escalation update.
Yeah, that was it.
That was the escalation update. Ugh. All right, moving on to guild culture. We're gonna change the topics now. That was a fun topic to talk about since a lot of us played PlanetSide. We were originally one of the guilds that like focused on PlanetSide too. The next topic we're gonna go over is guild culture. This is something that I think we semi touched on last time, but we didn't really get a chance to fully touch on it. I'm gonna close this real quick and then. Okay, the guild culture thing. Let's touch on that. So what is guild culture? Let's first define what guild culture is, and that's guild culture is the social like style of a group of people in a video game community, and that's what you call guild culture, and that varies greatly from group to group. Our group is a more lax community. You know what I mean? Typically lax community when it comes to like just stuff in general. Some groups uh, aren't lax communities. They require you to like be a certain level of performance in a game. They require you to dedicate a certain amount of time, or they have their own progression within the group, or they have their own like joining process, their own joining like in order to join you had to have like you had to make an application, etc. and they're very like selective of who they include into their group. And guild culture can apply to any group basically that has more than like 2-3 people. That can apply to anything. So the word guild doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be a guild to actually have guild culture. But I just use that word anyway, just because it's like that's just a thing. But guild culture is something that like not a lot of people talk about because I guess it's not something. Why wouldn't people? I can't think of a reason why people would not talk about it. Anyone here think of a reason why people wouldn't want to talk about guild culture?
Well, I just don't think that seems like a much more like a subconscious sort of thing. It's not something that would necessarily pop into people's minds on the get go.
Yeah, I guess. Guild culture is our like primary topic for the night, and I took us along to get here. It's kind of funny, but guild culture, uh, it greatly affects your experience, etc. From game to game. Uh, an example of guild culture would be like just like in PlanetSide, what we're talking about. There are two different groups that would play PlanetSide. There were these small, tight knit groups that kept their numbers low and focus on only letting really good, skilled FPS players into their group. Then there's big group who were like focused on like the more military organization aspect of their group in PlanetSide, and that's an example of like guild culture. Now, if we were to go to a different game, let's take World of Warcraft for example. You got guild culture where it's just a really relaxed group of friends who like to play WoW together. Then you got the super sweaty mythic raiding guilds where your performance measured your ability to join the group, and that kind of helped define whether or not you were allowed into that group if you were going to follow orders and help them kill the mythic boss. And both groups is not one is not better than the other necessarily, at least in my opinion. One is not better than the other. It's just which group fits you better as a player. Some players can fit one group better, some players can fit other groups better. You know, that's the topic. You guys want to add to that? Booga Bubba, anything? Go ahead.
Yeah, so just the guild culture. I mean, I think it's just up to the player, you know. There's all these different groups, and each group has their own, like you said, culture. Um, just whatever fits the player the most. I think that the different guilds, I mean, it's not a bad thing that the different guilds, have different ways they play the game, and like some guilds are more serious. You got to show up for practice runs and different things, which some people enjoy that. Some people like practicing and and being better at the game and enjoy that kind of activity. While some people just enjoy just getting together, kind of like we do. We just kind of get together and have fun. Um, so yeah, I think guild guild culture is a big thing in games, but I think it's up to the player, and whoever he joins and how he that's it's up to him how his experience in the game gets played.
You know, what'd be a really good example of guild culture that I think really greatly affects your experience, and I think all of us have a hand in? Armor 3.
I was gonna say the same thing.
You're gonna say Armor 3 guild culture is so fucking important to really consider. Do you meld well with these guys? And you can tell that like guild culture separates a lot of these groups.
Yep.
One of the groups that it separates is milsim groups and non-milsim groups. There's a huge fucking divide in the community between the two, and some players really greatly value the milsim part. Some players don't prefer that and actually dislike it, and those are the two separate communities. Some communities kind of tread the line between the two sometimes, but those groups rarely come. And if they do exist, I'll be real, a lot of them don't live like long enough. You know, in our time, as a Arma 3 community, uh, we've seen a lot of groups come and go. Some groups we used to play with. I'll give you an example. Do you guys remember Charlie Mike Company? Charlie
Yeah.
Mike?
So
Yeah.
Miller.
Mm-hmm.
I still have TeamSpeak, I think, saved.
Yeah, you saw their TeamSpeak, right? They used to play with us, and they played with us for like a good 3 to 4 months. They were like, "Yeah, we're a new group, and such." And so I was like, "Oh, that's cool," you know. And just like the first episode, I told people I have a really lax attitude about like cross attendance, right? And we had guys in our group that did both Charlie, Mike, and VEG, and that's cool with me. I don't really care. It's not a big deal to me. You can play either. I don't control what you do out on your time, you know. And so I was willing to help Charlie, Mike grow as a group. Like, you know, that's just who I am. If I see a group, you know, starting out, there's like I have a soft spot for for new groups. You know what I mean? I'm like that's cool. You guys are new group starting out. I'd like to help you be successful. You know, and so we gave them our infantry document. So we had like an SOP of how we wanted players in Arma to play, and it wasn't like a necessary thing. You didn't have to like follow it to the T or anything, but it was just a general guideline of what is expected out of you when you play Arma with us. It's just like when a WoW guild does strats. It's like an SOP of like how you're gonna do the strat for that boss, basically. It's the same thing. That's how I saw it, you know. And we let them borrow it, and I told them you could literally take off my name and take off like anything that's valid and just replace it Charlie Mike. That's cool with me, and you don't even have to credit me. I don't care. Just use it whatever how you like. I hope it works for you guys, you know. And their guild culture used ranks. Remember that? I think Charlie Mike used ranks, right?
Fucking cringe.
Don't get me wrong. I don't mind ranks in a group because sometimes ranks, if that group works well with ranks, okay, whatever. Personally, I don't like it. I feel I'm on the same way with you, Ziller. It's cringe to me. I hate ranks in a video game. With that being said, I do understand the necessity of positions. You know, I think positions are key. You know, you got your team leader, the shot caller. You got people who are like handle a lot of logistics. There's definitely positions, even officers, which is kind of like a rank. I think it's more of a position than it is a rank. You know, a rank in the military doesn't signify your position. And I think a lot of people in Arma don't realize this. Your rank doesn't signify your position in the unit.
It
just
signifies how
signifies
much you get paid. That's for sure.
Yeah, it definitely signifies how much, and it signifies your seniority, but definitely not your position. Give an example of this, right? Is you can be like in a Ziller probably knows this best. In a platoon, right? You have your platoon sergeant and you got your platoon leader. Two vastly different guys who are kind of like the main leader and the co-leader of the unit. Let's say there's another lieutenant from another platoon, right? That guy, just because he's a lieutenant from another platoon, or like a lieutenant for like the MP, he doesn't necessarily directly command that unit, and doesn't like pull his like. Sometimes in the military they'll do. Actually, a lot of times they'll do this where they pull rank on that group, you know, or like some first lieutenant or captain pulls rank on some platoon leader, second Louis or something, and it gets fucky. You know, it sucks. But technically, I think is how it works is that the guy has to tell that leader to tell his dudes what to do.
Yeah,
Right?
that's essentially how it goes. You don't like because since I'm a lower enlisted, another way you could put it is like, say you have a Joe, right? A Joe is just a lower enlisted who's not like a team leader or anything. So say you have a Joe and Joey McBlowy over here, he like fucks up or something, or you just like there's the E5, there's a sergeant that you know wants to fuck him up, right? Because he was doing something dumb. It and generally in most cases, uh, it is more preferred for that sergeant to go to that Joe's team leader and tell that team leader, hey, your guy's fucked up. You should take care of it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, Roger that, and takes care of it.
Yeah.
Because if that sergeant is fucking up a guy that isn't even his, then his direct leadership, the direct leadership be like, hey, what the fuck? What are you doing with my guy? Fuck you and shit like that. So
yeah, that's and funny enough, when it comes to most not all, but a good chunk of Milsim people, they think they don't know about that. They don't know that like they pull rank and then I'll tell a story in a second based off this. This actually reminds me of a really fucking good story of when we used to play Arma. But people would use these ranks and think it's the position, that it's a position, not a rank. And they'll fucking use this rank on each other in these milsim groups, and it's so cringe, it's so stupid. And it goes to the story. I'll tell a story real quick where I played Arma when during recruitment, this guy tells me, he's like, "Hey, I want to join your group," and I'm like, "That's cool. Just join Discord. Come to the next op. Get your mod set up beforehand. Make sure you check the rules and read our little SOP, and that's it." And the guy was like, "Cool. I used to be a captain in this group. Do you guys do ranks?" And I said, "No." He goes, "May I be offered a leadership position because of my past, rank? Does that transfer to you guys?" And I'm like, "No, it doesn't." And he gets upset. And he's like, "Well, in the military, like if you were to transfer from another branch to this branch, you typically retain something." Yeah. And I was like, "No, that's not. We're not in the military. This is fucking Arma, bro." I mean, needless to say, I never let this guy join us because of this shit. But it's like this entitlement where like this dude is like he thinks it's some fucking kind of real rank or something,
Yeah.
Well, even in the military, like someone transfers branches, they don't just be like take a leadership position right away. They got to know the ropes of how the branch works first. Like,
Yep.
we had a guy from the Navy who he was like an E6 in the Navy, and he transferred over to the Army, and he started out as an E4, and
Yeah.
he's still
Yeah,
an
you
E4 right
are.
now, but because of his previous time, he was in the unit for like a month, and then they were like, all right, cool, we're gonna make you team leader because you're starting to get the ropes of like the Army and stuff and everything.
Yeah. And that was surprisingly like that shocked me. That shocked me that this fucker dared fucking come into our group. And mind you, while we don't do ranks, we do have positions, and these positions make sense. There's a logistical reason for having positions. There's an organizational reason for having positions.
Yeah.
And ranks have nothing to do with these positions. And I would have let the guy be like a squad leader or something, if he just didn't pull the rank thing. Like, I'm a captain, and like that means nothing to me, bro. That means nothing to me. You could have been a fucking shitty captain for all I care. Like I don't know anything about your history. I don't have a fucking like history doc that some Department of Defense hands me when you transfer or something. Or it's
Well, that like at the very least, that guy should have just showed up and like at least done a few ops with us, and then request, hey, can I want to try out and be like a team leader or like a squad leader even, see how it goes and stuff like
we
that.
we were so laxed. We were so lax when it came to Arma like ops with that shit that you could literally join and be like, hey, and if you sound somewhat competent and be like, yeah, I want to be a squad leader, we probably would have been like, yeah, sure, be a squad leader, bro. Like, that dude didn't realize that. That's how lax we were about it. Because here's one of the problems of VG. This is slightly off topic. We have way too many fucking Indians in here and not enough chiefs. That is an actual problem here.
Yep, I agree.
Like we sometimes don't have enough leaders for the amount of people who want to be led, and it's saddening because I know that we have talented leadership here, and I don't want to I never want to force leadership onto someone because if you think about it, like you force leadership on someone, one, they're not gonna have fun. Two, they're gonna do a shitty job of it despite having the talent for it because they don't want to do it. You have to want to do it to really let your talent shine. And that's one of the issues we have. But guild culture wise, milsim groups, uh, they definitely have their merits. How about this? Let's be fair and be objective. Milsim groups have their merits. Having rank structure has its pros, right? One definite pro of having ranks in a milsim group is retention. Like you're less likely to quit a group where you worked for a position than a group that you didn't. They kind of just give it out. So there's one big benefit of having ranks. But the con is so fucking big that I definitely don't want to do it. It's not worth it.
Well, I think another advantage that you miss is that if you're a new guy showing up, you get a more immediate picture of like kind of what
that's
the
true.
pecking order is.
Yeah.
It's sort of been more established. You can tell, okay, this guy's been in longer possibly than this guy. He's probably more competent too. You can tell that right away. While something like VG, you show up and you kind of have to take a few offs to sort of get a picture of like,
Yeah.
okay, this guy is like this, and shit like that.
To be fair, we do have that on a much smaller scale with our positions back in when we were playing Plants and squad people with squad leader and commissar ranks. Not ranks, but positions would kind of give you an idea of whether or not that person was an official squad leader or official like platoon leader. And here it's much smaller scale because like it's a cult personality that surrounds me. And like if you see proverbs in the channel, it's like, oh shit, it's the founder, the guild master, the guild leader, the outfit leader, whatever. And a lot of people didn't like. I mean, a lot of people kind of got that, but definitely not on the same scale as ranks were to give. Ranks would definitely give you a better idea. You're right. That's also another benefit. Have you guys ever joined a Milsim group?
I did.
Yes.
I was in a World War II Milsim group, and it wasn't as cringy and uh, hardcore as other Milsim groups, but it's still there were ranks, and you had to do training to get certification to do certain shit, and I mean it was all right, but it
You
was a
know,
different culture.
I'm gonna add to that. As cringy as quote unquote training sounds, some of it actually makes sense, and has some merit behind it. Well, I'll give you an example: is flying. When you start an op, you definitely don't want someone practice flying, quote unquote, in an
Yeah.
op. And it pissed me off that some people would use that and defend people, like, oh yeah, let them fly and practice flying. And I'm sitting there like, fuck you, dude. Go fly on your own, practice flying on your own goddamn time in like the editor or or
Yeah.
some single player scenario.
Dude,
I ain't gonna
that's
about to let you crash my fucking op right now. Like just so you can learn fucking flying for some reason in a multiplayer like mode like server. We set aside our time, like 30 of us set aside our time to get together, and we can't fucking do this every day, just so you can crash the helicopter and kill 8 people and then fuck up the op. No, fuck you, dude. Like go
Yeah,
go
there's
find
a
another server.
there's a whole Battlefield Friends episode regarding that exact topic. Is the noob fucking crashing the helicopter? And
Yeah.
shit.
To be fair, Battlefield didn't really have a practice mode for flying. I wish it did. I wish there was a way for you to go into a server and practice with flying and stuff. And if it had something like that, I think that'd be much better. You know? Oh god, but it's so cringy when people practice flying in multiplayer servers. Fuck off with that shit, bro. All right,
So
all right. Well, go ahead, Bubba. About you joining a
Actually,
Milsim group.
yeah, I was just gonna say I actually joined like a very hardcore Milsim group a few years ago. It was a United States Air Force. Oh, what do they call those guys? The
Security forces.
no, it's the special forces. The
So you got
Oh,
tacties.
pararescue
yeah,
or something,
Yeah.
yeah,
right?
pararescue. Yeah, it's on
Pararescue.
the tip of my tongue. So yeah, I joined a pararescue unit, and it was like hardcore milsim, and basically I joined to be a pilot, and I had to do a bunch of different pilot trainings and everything, and ended up making second lieutenant in there because pilots have to be an
Officer
officer in the
rank. Yeah.
military. Yeah, so the reason I left that group, there was only like 10 of us in the group, but there were guys in there. The founder and his best friend, basically the two guys that were running it. One of them was in the Air Force already, and he was only like an enlisted guy, and he was planning on becoming an officer or something. But his friend basically got all these perks and everything because he was like second in command, and they just pulled rank for everything. Like it's just it cringe and like I don't know. I just ended up leaving because it got so toxic because they were trying to act like that they are actual officers in a military unit and just it was just really bad.
There's
Yeah.
a price for everything, like you got advantages and disadvantages for everything, and yeah, like it usually that generates like that when there's a hardcore ranking system. Like people start pulling rank, and those groups seem to like completely forget that we're playing a video game. Like
Yes.
we're not in the military. This isn't our job. We're not. We didn't sign any contracts. You could just leave the group and find another one if you're
Yeah.
unhappy. So
And
like
you
if you're gonna start pulling ranks and starting drama like shit, people are just gonna leave. They don't have to stay.
even when there's like money involved, like contracts and stuff, like esports teams, they don't have ranks. They just have positions. There's no rank.
Yeah.
It's just positions.
Well, so something to put on, and this would probably be a good topic for maybe next podcast, but something I want to talk about real quick is like guild leadership. Uh, one of the things about leadership is like you don't want to lead people by pulling rank. That is like the least
Oh, yeah.
charismatic thing that you can possibly do. You want people to listen to you because they respect you. If you have to pull rank on somebody, like you basically failed that person already. You failed to acquire their respect. So by pulling rank, like you're fucking up, dude. Like you need to figure out where your deficiency is coming from and correct that, because you're not going to have longevity of people wanting to follow you.
Mm-hmm. It's and it ties back to like why like the guild culture, where like you create that culture. The ranks affect that Arma 3 culture. They really do. Some groups kind of do a good job of like making it just like a progression system in their group, and that's fine as long as you got no one pulling a rank and doing shit like that. That's okay. I don't really. It's not that bad. I can deal with it. But when it does get to a point where that's like the dumb shit, oh god, it's so cringe. Niren, did you want to unmute and say something?
It was really cringe earlier.
Okay. All right, but I'm gonna keep adding to that because I think this is a really good topic to touch on, actually, since all of us are Arma 3 players who have dealt with Milsim one way or another. And I'm not gonna name the group, but I did join in Arma 2 around the time that like we just took a break and I just wanted to join another group to see how it goes. I joined another group in Arma 2, and one of the first requirement was after filling out an application and it gets approved. I filled out the application, it got approved, and the issue I had was you had to go to boot camp. Okay, you had to go to this fucking boot camp, and at first I was like, it's okay, I can deal with it. And when I got there was a drill sergeant telling me to do PT by running around the fucking little like fucking field they had,
bro,
and I'm like,
cringe.
yeah, and I instantly I said, I ain't doing this, and logged out and never joined that and never went to that group ever again. What the fuck is running around in the computer game gonna teach me about Arma, bro? Like I can understand, like, oh hey, yeah, this is like it's we call it boot camp for the military, like like role play aspect, but it's actually here just to like give you an idea of what we expect and how we do things. And I actually don't mind that. I don't mind that. I think it's a valid topic. I think it's a valid thing for a group to do, especially if it's Milsim. Because you do produce this different level of play. Like actually, it's something that we lack when we played Arma, and because so many people in our Arma group were from amalgamation of different groups, we didn't have uniformity. Like when it came to like SOP, when it came to how we did things, people from different groups would be like, "Oh, we did it this way, we did it that way," and we would have a clash of how we do things. Especially if I wasn't the one leading. Like if I was the one Zeusing and somebody else is leading, you got people under like someone a squad leader, like, "Oh yeah, we do things like this," or different squad leaders doing different things with different expectations, and that creates this like really bad like level of like there's no cohesion. There really was no cohesion that way, you know. And some of you guys probably know what I'm talking about, right? Like, you guys ever had experience in VG where like there was like it felt like what the fuck's going on kind of shit during one of our ops?
I just wanted to shoot things.
Yeah, and sometimes it gets that bad. It's we created a really good Zeus Arma 3 experience, but we never created a Milsim experience. I'll be real with you. It was not really Milsim. It felt like we were more so playing co-op in a military shooter in a movie environment.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't mind that.
I prefer it too.
Especially with my background, I kind of want to have a different environment.
You just want to go in, have fun, and feel like you matter. Feel like what you're shooting at matters, and that's it. And I'll be real with you. And a good example of that was our Australia campaign. When we did Australia campaign in Arma 3, it felt more like a fucking movie military experience than it did a fucking militant experience. And I think that's more fun. In my opinion, I think it's more fun. Obviously, a subjective opinion there, but literally our kill count on average mission was each person killed like at least 50 fucking people in the Australia campaign per mission. Like, for fuck's sakes, that's not realistic. That is not Milsim.
It's not realistic, but it's way more fucking fun. Like, I don't know, what would people rather do? Would they rather have a campaign where you're just hunting HVTs all day and shit, or would you rather have a campaign where it's like, hey man, there's a fucking nuke on this goddamn like island or whatever, and
And we're
You know,
hunting
goes,
it.
Yeah, and it goes off and shit, and everyone's fucking dying. I don't know. One
No,
sounds a bit
100%.
more exciting than the other.
I'll be real with you. Our campaigns were heavily inspired by Call of Duty shit.
This is what I was gonna say. It felt like some Call of Duty shit.
It really did. One of our missions was our dude was to dress up like one of the enemy and they infiltrate the facility, go to a computer, and when they would hack the computer, I would open a TeamSpeak message with them and then send them a fucking binary code that they had to translate to find out the coordinates to where we were to keep in the objective. That is not realistic at all. that is some movie bullshit.
It's fun though.
Yeah, it was fucking fun. It was really cool. I remember Zeus and that. It was so much fun. I mean, we did a lot of dumb shit in that sense, but it was fun. It was more fun than and less dumb. I'll give you an example. I think the Tanoa campaign was the final mission on the Tanoa campaign. I don't know who remembers this, but the final mission on the Tanoa campaign, we used MCC, the MCC bomb thing. You know the keep talking nobody explodes game mini game that MCC comes with, and we put 3 of them on a town, and then we had to go in and disarm it while fending off like thousands of syndicate coming down the fucking like mountains and shit. And I'll be real with you, why would the enemy plant a bomb and then leave and then try to come back with thousands of people? That sounds so dumb.
Dude, honestly, we slaughtered like half the island population by
yes, and we did, and it made no fucking sense like realistically. But it was fun, and it felt like a movie. Like you fucking got people going down left and right, bullets flying everywhere, and you calling in cast and shit, and that's an example of guild culture that kind of defines your experience right there. Now, if you were to join a different kind of guild culture, a more milsimi, you're probably gonna do like, and some people really enjoy this. It's not my cup of tea. I'm not gonna say it's not fun because for some people it is fun. They go on a convoy, they get ambushed. They don't get to shoot at anything for like 20 minutes. They see like maybe 3 dudes in the mission, kill like maybe 1 or 2 of them.
I'd leave.
And then about an hour after action report, what we did wrong, what we did right. Do you know what I'm talking about? Does anyone here know what I'm talking about?
Dude, I shit for like real life training. I don't want to do that, dude. Fuck.
Yeah. It's funny because a lot of these people they kind of like tout like, oh yeah, we have real life, like you have active duty, military leadership in here, and it's like that's cool. I could care less about that. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it really does. Like some people from the active military who are in the game crew, they really are good leaders. But it's such a wide variable that like I really don't care if you have active duty military leadership.
Well, that and
experience.
like I know firsthand how many shitty leaders there are. Like
in the military,
that's not a flex. Okay, it doesn't take much to become an NCO in the army. It doesn't.
Bro, all right, since we're on that, what is the worst or / most cringiest Armor 3 experience you've ever had?
Oh man, like for me, I don't really remember having. Because here's the thing, right?
Oh, because you play with us mostly, right?
Yeah, I never bothered with
yeah,
like
yeah.
the milsim shit. If I was ever gonna do milsim, it'd have to be some like whack ass like African conflict or whatever, like Rhodesia or something. I could get behind that.
I got one for this. It was
All right, let's go.
actually for Arma 2. It's different from the other one. I joined a group, and they were like a milsim group, but really they weren't that milsimmy. But the thing that was so cringy was that they had like punishments for not doing things right. And I remember I was only like 12 years old, man. Like I was still a kid.
Oh my god.
And they let me join their group, and it was like a EU group from Britain or somewhere.
Yeah.
And I
Well, see,
did
there's your
something.
problem.
Yeah, I did something wrong in an op, and they're like, "Okay, yeah, you did this wrong, so you're gonna walk the Northwest Airfield and do like 4 laps up and down the runway for your punishment." And my stupid ass 12-year-old self did that shit.
No. You cannot say that your dumbass self did it. You were young. You were 12. You were impressionable. Like, you didn't know, bro. Like, you can't really say you were stupid. Maybe you were ignorant. Like, ignorant's not very, like, you weren't, like, it's not derogatory. You just didn't know. Like, you just didn't know if you'll like it or not, you know?
Yeah, but I look back to that now, like, man, that was so stupid for making somebody do laps around a airfield in a video game. Like, It don't even make sense anymore.
Yo, Booga, what about you? I'm sure you got something. Arma 3 cringe, go.
I mean, yeah, there was when I was in that milsim, World War II milsim, our squad leader couldn't come for some reason, whenever they personal things in RL, and that meant that our squad couldn't play the op.
What?
Yeah. So like, I
Fucking stupid.
You know,
like,
you know
I
what?
told them, I told them like I'll fucking lead. I'll do it. I don't care. Like, but then they said you didn't get the certification. I'm like, fuck the certification. It's just like I'm just you're just a sheep. You're just herding sheeps when you're a squad leader. That's all you're doing.
It's
So
not like you're
it's,
even.
it's realistic, but it's unrealistic at the same time. It's realistic because that is the dumbest bureaucratic nonsense I ever heard. So it's realistic in that way, but it's unrealistic because in the real thing, if the squad leader is not present, hey, team leader, fuckface, you're gonna be squad leader.
You're a squad leader. We don't give a
Yeah.
shit. You can't say yes or no. You're ordered to do it too.
Yeah, I thought it was so. I was like, I can do like the whole squad was there, so I was like, I could just do it, dude. I'll do it for an op. They're like, no, you don't have the qualifications and blah blah blah. I was like, "Alright."
Oh man. I remember the cringiest thing I've seen in Arma, in recent memory, and I wasn't a part of it. I just heard stories about it. Do you remember when Tech Guy Gaming tried to like when we stopped playing Arma, we took a break, and a bunch of VG members like had exodus to Tech Guy Gaming's group, I think, right?
Yes, I was
You
in
remember
his
that?
group. Yeah.
Oh, you're in his group. Okay. They did a World War II campaign or something like that, right? They tried to do a World War II campaign where you had to write your own backstory and act out your character or something like
Yep.
that. And I'm like,
that's when I left.
that's what. I'm sorry. I heard about this. And I was just a little. Don't get me wrong. I actually think roleplay is a really cool thing, right? It's cool. But when it comes to like a group called Tech Guy Gaming, right? And you're running this op of 10 people and you have to roleplay your character. I don't know, man. I'm a little like sus about that, you know?
This isn't like the right like game to do that. Like honestly, like why do you got to role play? Just play your own personality. There's your character right
There's
there.
your character, who you are. But don't get me wrong, like I actually don't mind if they did an Arma 3 like roleplay. I could see the fun in it. I really could. And I think the whole like No Pixel started on Arma, I think. No Pixel before they went to GTA roleplay. They started on Arma real life. It's called like Altus Life roleplay. Yeah, and I can get that. I think this should be a topic for another episode, is roleplay in video games. But definitely sounded cringy because it's with people that I would not want to roleplay with. Let's you know what? Fuck, I'm gonna throw names out there. Fucking Foley. Would you want to roleplay with Foley?
Yeah, fuck.
Jesus
no.
Christ.
You see what I'm saying, right? You see what I'm saying.
So honestly though, I talked about it being cringe, but one of my fondest memories of like a VG op was I think it was like we were like the fugitives or whatever. Like our PMC group was like the fugitives. So we were like in hiding trying to like escape or whatever. So I was actually playing the role as like this electrical worker contractor guy, and I was like faking this really stupid like redneck blue collar accent, and it was so bad. But you know, I just remember like going up to these Black Order dudes, and I was like, yeah, you know, I'm here to like fix your windmill or whatever because you guys need a windmill. I don't know why they need a windmill.
I'll be real with you though, dude. So check this out. Even though that's roleplay, that actually had gameplay elements to it. How you did your voice when I was listening to Zeus, I was gonna see like, is this convincing or is it not convincing? Because if it's not convincing, we're gonna shoot you and arrest you right now. That kind of shit. You know what I mean? That's a little bit of a gameplay mechanic. Think about it. Like that wasn't even like that had nothing to do with just roleplay. That was literally gameplay mechanic that you had to make. You had to convince me. You know, you had to do like a voice and you had to do shit to convince me that would this soldier be like, you know? And it's kind of like in D&D where you roll a charisma check. but instead it's a real life check, and you really had to convince me. And some things like that, even though it's technically roleplay, it's roleplay with reason, roleplay that's fun, roleplay with gameplay.
And roleplay with a purpose.
Yeah, with a purpose, and it's fun. It's fun that way, and I 100% can get behind roleplay when it's fun. Like I did GTA 5 roleplay for a little bit with Savage, and we were pretending like we were a gang, and that was fun. I never really get to like the way I talk. I sound like I'm white. I'll be real. I sound white. I definitely sound like I'm white. People thought I was white. Actually,
you know, when I was playing PlanetSide and I heard you were Asian, I literally put in like platoon chat. Proverbs is Asian? Question.
Yeah, a lot of people thought I was white, and they found out I was Asian, bro. And like, fuck, dude, like it's so funny to me. But I get to roleplay like a really strong accent Asian guy when I play GTA 5 roleplay. Like I just came to America. It was really funny.
Oh my god.
But like I said, roleplay with a purpose in Arma would make sense. We did that with Evil Flea and Chow. They would have you do roleplay elements sometimes, and I thought it was fun. Sometimes when they did it, sometimes I thought it was a little much. There are times where it was like kind of cringy and stupid, but there were times where it was actually fun, and I can get behind that. I can 100% get behind that. You know, like it's all about having fun at the end of the day. But back to guild culture. Yeah, roleplay would definitely take part of your guild culture. Some places, not just in Arma, but mostly MMO guilds. That's their shtick. Look at World of Warcraft. There are actual roleplay guilds. That's what they do.
Servers. I mean,
Yep.
like,
Guilds based on roleplay.
See,
I get it. It's really something that's 0% for me. I can't do roleplay. But I get it. Like other people enjoy that shit, and I watch some videos and they do make me laugh. But like it's just I guess I just don't have the I don't know. I don't have the will to do it.
Yeah, like
And that's we don't really do it here, and that's why our guild culture kind of matches up with what you want in a group, you know. Go ahead, Ziller.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I saw like some of the videos of the WoW RP stuff, and like some of those guys are actually like pretty dedicated. They can play some pretty convincing roles. And
there's that video Asmongold put out where he took a look at this this undead roleplay guild, and I don't know if it's roleplay or not. I guess it's roleplay, but they all are undead dudes who look the same with a different variation of a certain name. I forgot what it's called, like Abomination or something like that. And they all had a different variation of the name Abomination or something like that. I don't remember the exact guild name, but I thought that was kind of cool. And if that's what they like doing, that's really cool. I actually like when groups look uniform. They don't have to look exactly the same, but if they look uniform, it looks cooler, much more like there's much more meaning behind it because it's a group of people and not just NPCs, you know? But yeah, but then there's cringy shit. There's like ERP, there's literally ERP guilds.
no, don't go to Goldshire. Don't ever go to Goldshire.
Literally ERP guilds. That's something that I'm just gonna straight up be like,
That's a hard pass, dude.
I can't. Yeah, I'm not even open to trying it. That's how cringy it is to me. I'm not even open to trying, and which is funny because I'm typically open to trying things. I'm open to trying things. ERP is not one of them.
Bro, Stroytop would have been such a good person to have in this
for the
channel.
oh
right
for
now.
the role play thing. I asked him
yeah.
to join the podcast. He said no.
He played the GTA 5 role play, and I remember his character had like a girlfriend, and some of the ERP shit he was streaming it to me, and it was so cringy.
Oh my god. I mean, actually, you know what? I take it back. For GTA 5 RP,
What's up, brothers?
I can kind of understand a little bit of the ERP to an extent. It can't get detailed though. You know what I mean? Like, cause like in that game, like in GTA 5 RP, it's all gangs and shit, bro. It's like gangs, drugs, and stuff. You know what I mean? So I can kind of understand a little bit, but not like super detailed ERP. I think that'd be a little too much.
And to me, like, I think the only way you can make ERP work is if it's like really fucking funny.
Yeah, that's
Like-
also
like
funny.
really,
Yeah,
like a really funny kind.
You know what?
I
You
wish
know
I
what?
could be that guy. Like, be funny, RP. Like, I envy those guys.
We kind of did that with Wildermyth. We when we play Wildermyth, we role play the character that we're playing, and when your character says something, you have to read it out loud in Discord, and preferably with whatever however you want your personality to be. And it was really fun. We started improving some of the quotes, like some of the things that you had to say. We started improving. We started being really funny about shit. Like one of them was our party had come across like a stupid group of mercenaries or something like that, and then Irish put in like, oh yeah, we come across AOD. And then I was like, damn it, I thought we'd redeployed somewhere else. And we started rolling with that as part of the story, and that was fun. That was really fun. That was really fun. Like
Is that the
I enjoyed it.
tabletop game?
Yeah, that was a tabletop game we were playing where you had to read your own character voice.
Well, I will say, like, when I was in OSIT or the basic training or whatever, we actually, like, I think a good half of my notebook was just playing D&D because I was kind of bored, right? And we had this little campaign going on, and the idea was like it was like the zombie apocalypse, like every other fucking campaign. But the trope is like we had like these really stupid characters. So like me, the trope with me was like I was like some fat Walmart employee with like a neck beard and everything.
Oh
And,
gosh.
it
How
was
did
one
you
of these-
survive? How would that guy survive this
I-
zombie
I-
apocalypse?
I had a lot of survival weight on me, I guess. But like, there's this one part where like I'm on this abandoned highway and I see another player. He's like getting attacked by zombies. So I'm all like, I say like, hey, I'm gonna go and help this guy out. And so I roll a 1 on mobility,
Oh,
and then the
Lord.
DM out of the dungeon master out of nowhere is just like, you try to make your way to help out that guy, but since you forgot to take your insulin shot this morning, you like start stumbling and tripping, and you fall and you can't get up and everything, and just complete improv out of nowhere, and we were laughing our asses off the whole time.
Yeah, that's sometimes a really good amount of fun. I mean, we sometimes would do it in a light way in Planet Side, not like serious RP or anything. We weren't really. I guess it's considered RP, but it was really funny. It was when, do you guys remember Slick Iron, like the little kid in our outfit, Slick Iron? You guys remember that guy?
It sounds
kid?
familiar, but I don't remember.
Okay, basically for an op, I told Slick Iron, you could be the outfit leader and tell us where to go. For one op, and everybody in the outfit was calling him Slick Iron, sir. What would you like us to do? And so I told Slick Iron, I gave him position of squad leader in Delta, and I told him, hey yo, just whenever someone asks for help on command channel, just reply to him, tell him that, hey yo, I'm sending boys your way, whatever how you want to say it, Slick. And he's like, all right. So then this guild or this outfit was like, hey, we need help at whatever tech plant, and he goes like, his little kid sound, his like fucking like 8-year-old voice was like, with the two platoons, and the guy sounded like he was like, okay, you know what I mean, on command shot. I'm sitting there giggling my ass off, and I order all of us, all right, load up the gals, we're gonna actually come here and help this guy. And then you see 7 galaxies flying towards this base and drop all of us on the point, and then Slick's like, we're here. And then the guy was like, thanks for the reinforcements. It was so great because all of us on prox chat would be like, oh yeah, have you heard of our leader Slick Iron, the fucking the incredible Slick Iron? Bro, it was so great, bro. And every other TR soldier was like, what the fuck? Some little kid. Who is this Slick Iron? I remember that story. That was a fun app.
New leader.
The worst
that
part.
reminds me of like the Legend 27. It's like who is
Yo,
this man?
You forget the
one
second
thing.
part of that, Danny, where
What?
it went right to his head.
Yes, I was just about to say. Now, this is the second part to that story. Slick Iron, right? He's an 8-year-old kid. That shit got to his head. The power he wielded, he was like addicted to. He's like, yo, Probs, can I do that again? Next op? And I'm like, no, you can't. It's a one-time thing, kid. And he was like, okay, but when's the next time I can do with that? And he's...
You gave him a power that he was too.
he got
Too
addicted
young
to the
to
power.
Yeah, he was too young to wield.
He got addicted to the power, bro. That shit was so funny, dude.
Bro, imagine you turn this kid into like a power-hungry fool in the future.
Oh man, I mean, I don't know whatever happened with that. I never saw him ever again after that. But basically, that
Leading
was
some fucking guild or whatever, trying to get the same power.
Yeah, maybe he started his own guild. Who knows? Maybe Slick Art if he would be 16 right about now. He would be old enough to be somewhat of a competent leader if he was at that. But yeah, that was one of the times where like we kind of slightly role played it, but it wasn't like serious role play. It was just fun to role play. It's just when you do stuff like that, it's just fun.
That was some Make-A-Wish Foundation shit.
Oh my god.
Careful, Ziller. Careful, Ziller. We're fucking treading on nothing else here.
It show's over, bro. Back to reality.
Oh man, but that's what I'm talking about with guild culture. I mean, like people enjoy that humor, and that's what I think that lighthearted humor is one of our defining traits. Was definitely our light ass hard humor. We don't really take shit serious. Do you remember New World? Well, okay, you know what? I'm stupid. Everybody here fucking remembers New World.
Yeah,
But
bro.
the amount of shit talk that people talked about us, we took it and laughed. We took it, we wore it, we laughed about it. It's fucking immortalized. We had so much fun because of it.
We have
But-
a fucking sub text chat for hate
Yeah,
messages,
we do.
bro.
But check this out. There are groups out there that would react to that way differently from us in two ways. Okay, one of them was they would be like upset. They would be like, "Oh yeah, fuck these other guys. They talking shit about us." You know what I mean? That's one of the ways they would do that. And then the other way another group would respond would be like, "Oh, we need to take a step back and look at our PR and like maybe issue a public apology." There are groups like that, literally groups like that out there. And I don't know if anyone here in this channel would want to be a part of that group, right? am I wrong or right? Like,
No,
I don't know.
bro. That
No.
sounds like drama to
Fuck
me,
that
bro. That sounds like
Like, I mean, to be fair, there are people out there who would prefer that. I'm not saying like people wouldn't, but I do know for a fact that a lot of people who join VG right now wouldn't want me to do that. They would be so upset at me if I were to bend my asshole backwards for something like that. For
dude,
something
that's
like
not
that, dude.
props, bro.
That is not proper. You're right. That is. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are times where like I think like, hey, we're sorry about that. I don't like when we accidentally dropped the ward deck on Weaver's Fen. Remember? Like I legit was like, hey, I'm sorry about that. We can make it up to you if you guys want to be the ones to actually be in the group to attack it, and we'll pay you all the money for it, and you can tell us what you'd like to build on it. So it's basically yours. But they didn't want to do that. So they're like, there are times where I do that, but like for the most part, when it comes to like the amount of shit talk that goes our way, or even my way, bro, like people fucking call me Filipino training. That's not really a nice thing to say about me, you know. But with that being said, I just take it and like I just laugh. I just wear his armor. I fucking put that in our videos now.
It's just pretty funny, actually.
it's just funny. Like we don't take it too serious. We're lighthearted about it, you know. And
Well,
like
it's funny because you came at it with that stigma in the beginning, and that's why it's still funny to this day because it's just like it's just associated with those memories, you know.
Yeah, and I think
good
that's a good way to
time.
approach. Yeah, that's a good way to approach it. Let me tell you of this time. This is a dark time for VG. Okay, I don't think any of you were playing with me at this time. It was just me and my brother Tang. We found this WoW server, and I think some of you may or may have heard of it. It's a private WoW server where they make it so you make your own class. It's called WoW Ascension. Okay, have you guys heard of WoW Ascension? Probably
Yeah,
not.
I heard of that.
No,
Okay, well,
never heard
basically
of
you make your own class, right? You can literally pick from whatever ability you want, and then it costs points, and you make your own class, which is really cool. So me and Tang played it for a bit, and I didn't take it serious. I just made a guild, right, called Validus on it, and I just did it just because, whenever I play MMOs, I try to make my own guild or join one. Cuckles, your mic is I could hear everything, but during that, right, we ended up becoming the powerhouse guild on the alliance side, the #1 rating guild, and like I did that by accident. I'll be completely honest with you. I just recruited everybody I could, and we had enough people, okay, for 2 fucking 25-man raid teams. That's how many people we had in that WoW guild under VG when we were playing WoW Ascension, which is funny because no one in our this group played with me except me and Tang, and me and Tang were running this group. And so much drama would happen over dumb shit. And I'd be like, yo, who cares? Like, why would we care? An example, okay? I want you to fucking think about how ridiculous it sounds. This is just like New World shit, okay? One of the guilds was mad at us for recruiting so many people.
How
want
dare you take our recruitment pool? How
I want-
dare you be more attractive than us?
I want you to fucking think about that for a second, okay? And I was a nice guy. I wasn't like completely like douchebag. I was like, well, I asked him, like, I talked to him, like, hey, why is that a problem? And he goes, there's no one left to recruit. And I said, okay, have you considered changing your recruiting policy? Maybe offer something that we don't. And the guy says, no. Why don't you give us some of your members?
What
Oh my
the
God.
fuck? They don't work like that, bro.
What a
That doesn't
dick,
work like that.
dude.
People
Yeah,
choose what they
no,
want
that's
to
some
go. Don't
entitlement
just
shit
like
right there.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's like
entitled.
he's not gonna go out of his way to change. You know?
Okay, I want check this out. After he told me that, some people I'm sorry about the ambulance. My window was open. Some
Someone's getting
people
arrested.
some people in our guild were like, dude, we need to improve our PR in front of these people. You need to maybe we can consider giving some people from our guild. And I said, what the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You know, I told these guys, and they weren't like
Shit.
they weren't officers or anything. I told them, like, literally, one, we're big enough to be a self-sufficient guild. We don't need any other guild. If I had a reason to need this guild, maybe I'd consider it. Maybe. Right? But we don't. We literally have 2 fucking 25-man raid teams clearing Molten Core. Like, and we have like a bunch of 10-mans always running like Zolgarub and shit. Like, we are self-sufficient. And 2, right? I did nothing wrong. Right? I recruited people to my guild. That's a skill in itself. I deserve that work I put into making that guild. Like, that's not on me. That's on the guy that made a fucking subpar shit guild, and he's jealous that I have more people than him. Like, okay, bro, like you can't tell me that like those are your members. You know, you fucking deserve those members from my guild. Like, you don't. Those people, join my guild. And then 3, I don't tell people where to go. I can tell them to not
Exactly,
be in my
yeah.
guild, but I can't tell them to join your guild. That's their decision. Like, I
Super
don't.
disrespectful to the players
Yeah.
themselves.
Like,
Yeah.
I could tell them, say, I don't want you in my guild anymore. But if let's say they, let's say I kick those people out, there's no guarantee they're gonna join your fucking guild, bro. Like, it just sounds so stupid to me. And then because of that, right? Because I said that to that guy, I was labeled an asshole by a lot of people on the server that wasn't in my guild. The dude who said that was like, okay, whatever. And then we were having a guild meeting about it. The guild meeting lasted like 15 minutes, or was supposed to. Then a couple people who weren't in the guild became a part of it. And I was like, and I straight up said to him, are you in my guild? He goes, obviously they weren't. I just wanted them to like confirm it with me. Are you in my guild? He goes, no. Then you have literally no weight in what you say about what happens in my guild. And they're like, well, that's douchey of you. I'm like, no, that's just the fucking, like, I don't tell you what to do to your fucking guild. Like, that's just the straight. And the worst part is, the whole time I'm saying this, it's like you guys understand because you guys have common sense. That is just the thought process that like anyone who has a fucking spine would say. Like, you have a fucking spine, you'd say this shit. And I'm not being a douchebag. I'm literally just defending like my own my own self. And I got labeled as a douchebag on the server. And I remember me and Tang were like fucking laughing about this shit. We're like, dude, like, these people are fucking ridiculous. What the fuck is going on, And eventually, I got bored of playing it because I wanted Molten Core, or not Burning Crusade to come out for that server. And we were basically like on our 20th run for Molten Core, and Blackwing Lair just got released, and we were doing Blackwing Lair. And it's not being fun because it just got boring and such. And then at one point, they offered our guild to transfer to Horde. And I said, why don't we just go to Horde side? So we joined the Horde side, and everybody on the Horde side were like, dude, wow, let's get it, VG. Why are you guys over here? Oh, shit. Because on that server, it was a PvP server also. So, like, think about it, dude. A guild that had 2 25-man raid groups going to Molten Core. I don't know if you guys understand if you ever played Classic, but there's a lot of PvP that happens outside Molten Core between guilds, especially when you get the Onyxia buff. If you have the Onyxia buff, you have to kill, or if the other guild if an enemy guild has Onyxia buff running, you need to kill them and then take that buff off. You know what I mean? That shit was like, you had to do it. And so with our powerhouse leaving, exactly, the powerhouse guild Valis, because we were number 1, we switched to Horde side. There was no more powerhouse guilds on the Alliance side. They weren't running Blackwing Lair anymore. No one on the Alliance side was barely clearing Molten Core. And so our guild left, and people were complaining that Validus left with all the shit that they had and they weren't running fucking Molten Core anymore. They had a pug Molten Core. they had to go in with less than 25 people to kill bosses.
Good lord.
And so,
not.
yeah, I know that is like
sounds not
legit.
fun.
That is shit. That is shit. And so people were like, "Oh man, it was such a bad, stupid shit." That's an example of like how some people react badly to the way we handled shit. A lot of our members were like, "Dude, we don't give a fuck. Like, who cares what some other guild thinks of us?" And some of our members were like, "Dude, it's better PR." And I'm sitting there like, what does PR do for me? Like, legit, what does PR do for me? And my guild is like,
all that is appeasement. You're just giving other people more power when they don't deserve it.
yeah. And don't get me wrong, if it was like, let's say our guild had some members who ninja looted some shit out of a raid or something, I'd probably be like, "Oh, my bad. Let me kick those guys out, and then maybe I'll send you some gold to make it right." You know what I mean? Like I did shit like that, but I wouldn't like bend over for some asshole who tells me that I recruited too many people into my guild. Like, bro, run a better guild. Straight up, run a better guild.
See, I mean, I guess that's the key thing. Like, you know, if you're not doing anything particularly wrong, you shouldn't really complain. You know, that's just a situation. It's only when, like, I guess the only time you should ever like actually apologize is when someone in your group or something, actually does something wrong, does the
Yeah.
wrong thing.
And whenever someone does something wrong and someone else from another group comes and tells me about it, I don't instantly take that person's side. I do my due diligence to talk to both people first, and I try to get like the story from like our guy too, just to give him like the benefit of the doubt, you know. And we've had multiple situations like that in PlanetSide. Do you guys remember? And this is gonna sound fucking stupid now that we talk. This sounds so stupid. Do you remember back in PlanetSide 2 when Echo 8, aka Frost the Wanderer, would put the sentry turret as an engineer in the doorway of the main spawn gate? Do you guys remember that? And the Honey Badgers got fucking pissed about that. That it turned into a TK war between Echo 8 and the Honey Badgers.
Oh my god.
You could just go around it.
You could literally just go around it. And so when I didn't know about it, when Honey Badgers came to me, it was like, "Hey, one of your members is like fucking griefing the TR side." I'm like, "Oh shit. Well, let me find out, and I'll punish the player, like kick him out if necessary." So I went and talked to Echo 8 about it. Had I taken that guy's side, I would have wronged Echo. It would have been wrong to Echo for me to do something about to punish him and kick him out for that. So I talked to Echo and I'm like, "Hey yo, like what'd you do, bro? Like you pissed off the Honey Badgers?" And he goes, "Like, what do you mean?" It's like, "Well, apparently the Honey Badgers say you're griefing them and shit." He goes, "All I did was put an engineer chair at the door in the warp gate, and just to be funny, and people couldn't run past it." And so he was like, "Man," and I started laughing. I'm like, "Bro, of all the things the Honey Badgers picked to like get upset about, he picked this, bro. Come on, bro."
It's such.
It's such a stupid.
I recognize Echo in that. Like, absolutely.
It was. I mean, here's the thing. He got bothered by it. He got bothered by it to the point where he didn't want to log in anymore because people kept team killing him wherever he went, and that upset me a lot. I was like, "Bro, why would?" Well, first and foremost, to Echo, like, why would you let that bother you? Second, like, these guys are like being dumbasses about something like that. Like, why would you do a TK war like this? It's so stupid. Like, you're just hurting your own faction at that point. You're just wasting your time and energy in doing something that's not even fun. I would not have fun team killing someone like that. Like that doesn't sound fun. Like, oh man, that was so dumb. Yeah, I'm surprised none of you guys remember that. Or does anyone remember that?
Remember a little bit.
I do remember.
I wasn't even born yet, bro.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for me, essentially, like that sounds like something before I joined up.
Before you joined?
Would barely remember.
Oh, dude, it was.
Yeah, because I joined up like either late 2013 or it was like a few months before FNO, I think.
Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. So there's a couple of things when it came to that kind of thing. I mean, like, you got. Well, I'll give you an example, right? In New World, right after Siege, a lot of you guys talk shit on global chat.
Oh
And I'll be real, none of it broke the rules. I told everybody, like, if you talk shit, make sure you're not breaking like the New World rules. You can BM. BM's fun. BM's part of fucking gaming culture. Like, when I fucking play Call of Duty, I talk shit in the lobbies. Granted, I stick to like the policy and don't break any of the rules. But yeah, I tell people to trade their game into GameStop and buy Cold War instead because they obviously suck dick at Modern Warfare.
Or they got easy on their forehead.
Oh, they got an easy tattoo on the forehead. That doesn't break toss or anything, but it's funny and it's BM, bro. It's fucking BM. And when you guys BM global chat, right? I had a ton of people message me and goes, "Your members are fucking toxic as shit." And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with what they say on global chat.
I don't see where that's my problem.
I don't. Yeah, I'm like, what do you want me to do? Kick him out for fucking saying some dumb shit? Like, oh, you got dunked on, bro, or too easy clap. Like, wow, that's so.
I mean, they
that's
did,
so
bro. Like,
offensive.
literally, we were winning games in like 7 minutes when they're supposed to be 30 minutes long.
Well, keep
bro.
in mind. I don't. It's not that it was true or not. It was the fact that, like, what do you want me to do about it? It's not in our group policy not to talk shit. I fucking talk shit myself. Like, you want me to stop talking shit and then ban these guys out of my group for that? No. Like, where do you get off on telling me what to do with my guys? Like, it's just funny. It's fucking funny. That actually goes back to guild culture of the primary topic. Guild culture. And guild culture is that, like, I don't fully control. To an extent, I do have a guideline of what I want you guys to do when you talk about something in global chat, and that is follow the game's rules. If the game's rule says you can't say this, there's nothing we can do about it. I would prefer you don't say it so you don't get banned. That's it. Otherwise, you guys can say what the fuck you want to say. If they want to get an official statement from, oh, thank you, Play5, for the subscription. Who's Play? Is that you, Chio?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. If you want to get an official statement from Validus, you either come to me or Durish or some official, like not high rank, but high position, like, person in Validus. Otherwise, everybody's entitled to say what the fuck they want to say to an extent. As long as they follow the rules of the game and the rules of the community. I don't care. Like, and the guild culture here lets you do that. While some groups, I'm sure there's groups out there, where if you guys had done what you did in New World, you would have got kicked out of the group. Some guilds have a strict no talking shit policy. Thank you, IGP, for the subscription as well. Have you guys ever been in groups like that where it's like it's a very PC, like very like tied up the ass kind of group?
Yes.
I think World of Warcraft is where you find most of these groups. I'll be real.
It's so boring, bro. All you do is play and you don't say anything. Like,
oh, thank
I don't know. Like, I mean, yeah, you talk about the game, but that's about it. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know. I can't imagine myself just talking about a game for like 4 or 5 hours straight, bro.
I mean, to an extent, like, I understand some people prefer to keep it that way, but that's such a thing of the past. It used to be very taboo to talk about real life in a guild. You guys remember that? Like back in like the EverQuest 1 days, EverQuest 1, World of Warcraft, Ultima Online. It used to be really taboo to talk about real life. It used to be taboo to share pictures of each other in real life pictures. Anyone? No one? Maybe I'm the only one.
Real life, yeah. It used to be.
It used to be very taboo to talk about that stuff. But nowadays it's such a norm. Like video cameras, Twitch streams, people meeting up in real life, and
Hot tubs.
yeah, hot tubs.
Streams.
Hot tub streams. One of these days I should stream and then cut a picture of a hot tub and then like put it right in front of the camera on here and make it look like I'm in a hot tub.
But you gotta take your shirt off, bro.
Maybe. I don't know if taking my shirt off is considered okay for Twitch
you're
TOS.
but you're like, you're in a hot tub. So.
Yeah, I know, but I'll just wear like a tank top and then, you know what I mean? I don't want to break TOS with Twitch. I'm really scared of getting banned. I don't want to get banned on my Twitch, bro. If I get banned on Twitch, I'm going to YouTube.
Bro, when you do that, you should wear like those hats. Those straw hats and have like sunscreen, like really white sunscreen on your face. And
no, I should tie my hair up like a girl. It'll make my hair look like I'm a chick. That's what I should do. But yeah, it's guild culture that's all this stuff ties back to guild culture. That's just crazy how much of a topic that is that no one really talks about. Different groups and their different guild cultures. Can you imagine if here I told you guys you weren't allowed to talk shit on global? You know how shitty that would be?
Fuck that. And fuck you.
I know, right? Like I said, that guy was like, "Hey, yo, like, tell your guys to stop talking shit." And I was like, "Yo, I don't tell my guys what to say." Like, I really don't. They want to say it as long as they follow the rules. They're welcome to do that. I can care less whether they do it or not. That's funny. Yeah. Anyone have any cringe moments of like a group, or it's not even cringe, but like you see a group that you're just like, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Proverbs permission to go to sleep.
Oh shit! Yeah,
I rang
so
the
we're
bell. What the fuck was that?
we were playing BDO when before even this was like OG BDO. This is like before Medea was out. This was when level 50 was like the soft cap, and 55 was like considered if you're a goddamn sweaty bitch. And
Bitch.
Medea, or pre-Medea patch, some guy was an officer in a guild, right? And he was staying up playing, right? He asked me, Roberts, permission to go to sleep? And I was like, yo, you can go to sleep whenever you want, bro. I don't control shit. You go, just go. Like, just go to sleep, bro.
No.
I should have said no. But I told the guy, I was like, bro, what the fuck? It's not like that here. He was the only one who was like that here.
I don't think he ever showed up after that, did he?
No, he did, but he stopped showing up. His name was Ifrit. I remember his name, Ifrit.
Mhm.
But you know what's funny? He sounded just like Iller. And I mean, I honestly would say that they're the same guy, except they've been in the same channel and talked at the same time. So I don't think they are the same person, but fuck. That was cringe. That cringed me out a little bit, bro. Son of a bitch. Yeah, that's some cringe ass shit. Guild culture, man. I think we have a fun guild culture. Our culture here is like, let's just have fun, play video games, do whatever we
bitches.
want to do. For real, dude.
Get money.
It's pretty chill here, bro. Pretty chill.
Ziller, or you guys that drop PMs to me, I can't read it because if I read it, it's gonna show up on the thing. Here, let me pause quickly, actually. But yeah, does anyone else have anything about guild culture they want to add into?
Guild culture. No.
Ziller just said he had to reset his mic.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
what I
guild
need to-
culture. Fucking hell, dude. Guild culture is so funny, dude. I wish it wasn't so hard to find a group. Honestly. Because if it wasn't so hard to find a group, I wouldn't want to like make my own group. I wouldn't have to make VG. I would just go and join a group. But sometimes it's actually really hard to find a group that vibes well with what you like, a chill with what you want to do, you know. But I think the one group that I thought was gonna, like, I'll be real, it's kind of mean to say, but the one group I knew was gonna fail was Tech Guy Gaming's group.
Who is that?
So
exactly.
Exactly.
Who the fuck is that?
so let me fill you in. So VG, when we play Arma, we have these like phases where we play a lot and then we take a break because we get burnt out. Then we play a lot again. Then we take a break and play a lot. Then we take a break and play. You know, we go through phases. I'd call it seasons. You know, seasons of VG where we play Arma 3. Whenever we stop playing Arma 3, our player base would either go play with other groups, or this one time they made their own group. Actually, it's not just one time; it's twice they've done this. But Tech Guy Gaming Group was so bad at like I knew it was gonna fail because I knew he wasn't the personality to want to run things proper. He was the kind of guy that's like, "Hey, I'm the founder of the group. You do what I say, period." Kind of shit, you know.
Yeah.
Right? Was it like that, Bubba? Or how about this? Bubba and Booga probably know more about it than I do because you guys were actually there.
Yeah, I was in the group, and it was basically his way or the highway, you know.
And
Well,
like,
to me, he he had like a short attention span. Where like that fucking Arma thing, like the role playing thing, like for months he talked about it, and that went fucking nowhere. Like I never got invited to any of those ops.
you know what's funny? I heard. Can you guys confirm this is true? I heard he wanted people to start paying membership to play on the servers.
Fuck that.
What the fuck?
That's what I heard.
I think I vaguely remember something about that, but
I think that was the nail in the coffin because someone
Dude,
told me
that's
that
such a
someone
turn off, bro.
someone
I
told
would
me
not
that-
want to play.
I wouldn't either. I mean, like if you run a group, I'll be real with you. Your members don't shoulder the cost. It would be great if they help you, but your members never should never have to shoulder the cost. you as the founder shoulder the cost. Period.
Yeah.
There's no argument about it. Whenever we played Armor servers, I was the one who like mostly paid for it, and then we'd have people donate to help. But I would never force anyone to be like, "Hey, you pay for the server or you're not playing." That's like kind of like messed up, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and that just comes with like you. It just made like how do I say this? Like the very fact that you had people donating meant like they really thoroughly enjoyed
Yeah.
the server that you put together and like just led. So that's like it's one of the things that he probably didn't have, that redeeming quality where he could gather a crowd that would be willing, like not force, like you said, be willing to just donate.
Yeah, and I'll be real with you, it wasn't that much. It was like $30 a month, $40 a month. And
So,
when we, what's up?
Sorry, Carabiner wants to like he has words to say about that. I don't know if you want me to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure, I'll give him. All right, before I gave you stream talking permission, Carabiner. Go ahead and introduce yourself real quick, Carabiner, for a second.
Hi,
Tell
everyone,
us who
I'm
you
Carabiner.
are and how you joined the Validus. Quick.
So I joined Validus. I was just like one of the random guys who messaged them looking for like a group on Arma 3. And like funny enough, real life is me and Proverbs actually we secretly met in one of our hometowns, and then before that we were both in an ROTC unit. We actually met up at a couple of like not orientations, like competitions without actually like really meeting each other. So,
Okay.
like, I've known him for like a super long time before like we ended up like secretly knowing each other.
We turned
like
out
a
we
secret lover.
it turned out we knew each other. We went to the same places in real life. Well, we met up in real life. But yeah, go ahead. What do you have to say about Tech Guy Gaming now that after you
So yeah,
introduce yourself?
I totally remember doing like being with the Tech Guy Gaming, trying to do all that like the Arma 3. I jumped in with him a bunch of times, and then like he kicked me out from like the actual server because I told him I'm not going to pitch in money for his server.
Jeez.
So that
Like,
was
he
a real
should-
thing, right?
It
That was a thing.
100% a real thing. Yes.
So I knew
He
it because I heard
full-
it from someone else. And you know what's funny? It wasn't Carabiner that told me this. Guess who told me this? I think it was Andre. Andre told me this. He was like, "Yeah, he started charging people, trying to charge people to put on the servers. He was trying to make money off it or something like that." And I'm thinking to myself, like, dude, $5 from like a couple people a month is nothing to really like fucking freak out over, you know?
Or if you really needed to ask for it, be like, "Hey guys, something came up. I don't have the money. Can y'all pitch like $5-10?"
Yeah, just say that. Like, hey, I got some real life shit
Even
going on.
then,
Like,
that's like that's
like,
kinda-
but that's like a totally different thing. I wouldn't say that's like even remotely close to the same thing. That's like totally different. Like, if I needed the money, I'd be like, hey,
No,
can
that's what
you
I'm
guys?
saying. If you need the money, ask
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, I mean, here when we did the shirts thing, like I fronted the goddamn money already for it, so people, instead of having everybody just pay me straight up, you know, like, and it was entirely optional. Like, it wasn't like anything anyone had to like buy the shirt or you weren't in the group anymore. It was straight up like if you want to buy it, cool, and then just make sure you front it to me by the time I ship it out to you. That's it. Or I fronted the cost for it. And, like, that's just how it is. That brings me to something. And this is going to be a slight. Actually, never. I'm not going to talk about it. I don't think it's a good idea to talk about it in public. That's something that's probably a more private topic. Yeah, that was a group I saw that was going to go downhill quick.
Like, I think it lasted all about 6 months. I remember us doing like weekly and like couple of ops like.
But I
per
mean, like,
week.
in terms of ops, how many people did you guys have like showing up like at all?
Anywhere from like 14 to 20.
Okay, so it wasn't even that like.
It wasn't
even that
super
big,
thin,
right?
though.
Yeah,
No.
it wasn't even really that big of a thing anyway to begin with, and that's like like what. You could turn it into a business when you have like 100 people playing your server like constantly. That'd probably be a good idea because the server costs would have to go up. You know, I think we were really successful when it came to our group. We sometimes would have anyone from 20 people to anyone from 10 to like 20, and sometimes when we did certain bigger ops that were more hyped, we'd have 30, 35 of our own guys. Then at one point we would do combined ops where it'd be like 50, 60 people, like with joint ops with other groups. And we never charge anyone for it. Why would we charge anyone for that shit? What's up, Booga?
I was gonna say like, when I said like he would start having an idea and just it wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you could watch it. You could go on his Twitch channel, and you'll see like he made a whole intro and all this shit, and there's nothing afterwards. It's at least that's the impression I got from that community, was just a whole bunch of ideas that just went nowhere.
Yeah, I'll be real. Sometimes we have the same problem sometimes. Not nowhere near to that extent, but sometimes we'll get that problem. And it's not anyone's fault but mine. Where like I'll get an idea about wanting to do something and we don't really get to pull it off because whatever reason. Uh, an idea that we wanted to do really bad but could never pull it off was machinimas. Like we wanted to do PlanetSide 2 machinimas. But we never could do it because of how hard it was and how much how rough it was to do. Like machinimas were like way too hard to pull off, dude. I want us to get really far in some games, and we never really got to do it, or start in some games, and we never really got a chance to do it. Elderscrolls Online was something that I really wanted us to try out, like as a guild, like straight up. But we never really got a chance to jump into the serial deal open PvP, open world PvP. Oh shit, it's off. But with that being said, there were multiple things where we wanted to do it and we ended up doing it. You know what I mean? And I 100% get what you're saying. It's really demoralizing when like this guy that is supposed to be like your community leader, he doesn't pull it off and doesn't do it. What would be a good idea of that? Or have you guys ever experienced of other groups aside from Tech Guy Gaming, where like you know they kind of say these things and they don't really pull it off, or they lie to you about stuff? You guys ever had that happen to you?
Not lie, but definitely like
Exaggerate.
Yeah, or fucking 903 that had something like that. We wanted to switch to another game, and it's just like nobody bought the game. Like everybody was hyping it, and nobody bought it at the end. It was
What game
like,
was it?
I don't remember. It was some other. You know what? I think it was Squad when it was like still
when like early access, right?
Yeah, early access. Yeah, like very early access, and it just didn't go anywhere.
Wow, that's crazy. Early Squad, when it was early access, you couldn't even vault over like a 4-foot wall or 3-foot wall, and you had to walk around it.
Yeah, like a wall was an actual like obstacle.
Yeah, you couldn't go over it. You had to walk around it. Jumping wouldn't work in that game. Yeah, that sucks. I forgot you're from 903rd. Dude, 903rd used to have beef with us back in PlanetSide 2. Remember that?
Well, because I'd never heard of you guys.
Yeah. Before then,
until I just randomly joined your outfit, one of your public ops. But
yeah.
I'm not surprised. I mean, fuck. I mean, I like Shepard personally. I liked him. I thought he was a great
He's a chill guy. Yeah, he's a chill guy.
It got up to his head really quickly, and he basically killed 90. He made 903rd what it was, and then he killed it. Like it just really got up to his head.
Yeah, when he wasn't acting like a dickhead, he was a chill guy. But here's the thing: he was acting like a dickhead to me a lot. That dude said racist shit to me too.
Yeah.
You know, he called me a little Asian whatever word I forgot that I'm not gonna say on Twitch. And it was like, you ain't gonna get anywhere, Asian fuck. And I was like, all right, way to get racist about my skin color. Like, what does that have to do with fucking PlanetSide, dude? Like.
I don't remember what the argument was, but it was him and some other officer who were arguing about something, and then he said, "If you don't shut the fuck up right now, I'm gonna pull rank on you." And
yeah, see,
immediately I went to the menu and just left that leave outfit just immediately. I was like,
"Oh shit, jeez."
I work 40 hours a week. I'm not coming back to fucking high school drama. Fuck.
I thought that level of shit was like I thought all that energy was directed at just outwards. Never, I thought you guys 903 was like a really tight knit group or something, you know?
Yeah, but we were at first. Before Shepard took over, it was such an awesome group. It was like VG. Like it was just chilled. We had drunk ops on Friday nights where you had to be drunk to fly the Galaxy or drive the Sunday. You had to be drunk to be a squad leader, platoon leader. It was so much fun. It was the most fun I had in fucking PlanetSide. But then Shepard started taking over slowly and started like all the other officers started leaving because of the drama. And yeah, at the end, I just left too.
Dude, holy shit! That reminds me of us a little bit. Not to that extent, but do you remember? No one except Niren will remember this. Let me look at the names. Yeah, just Niren. Romos. So when I got busy with real life, I was working a full-time job. I didn't have the time to like play often. Okay. Actually, there's two stories of this. Oh my god, there's two stories of this. Okay, we'll start with Romos. Okay. And so Romos was basically the co-leader. He was a chill Canadian guy. You know, he's chill. He wanted to turn VG into something that was more like BWC. Do you guys remember that?
BWC.
Well, so he took over around the time 2013, like beginning like January 2013, when a month after launch, I got busy with work. I couldn't like play as often as I like. I still play, just not as often, right? And then he took over for a little bit, and then I moved to Florida, and I swapped jobs, and I had more free time, and I came back to play, and people were telling me like, yeah, it's not the same. It's not like what it used to be. It's like he's turning into like more like because he was about to introduce applications. He was about to introduce applications to the group.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And like I personally was like, I gave him the power. I said, dude, you can do what you want, bro. Like as long as it's not like something stupid or drastic. And then people started messaging me and was like, yo, you need to do something about this because he wants to introduce applications. Then we had this big leadership meeting. We had leadership meeting as in like all the big boy leaders in VG needed to be there and talk about this change. It's a change that's really important. Like I personally think it's important. It doesn't sound important to like some of you guys, or maybe to some people they don't think it's a big deal. But when your group transitions from one way to another, the people who join because of one way are gonna leave because you're changing to the other way that they didn't like in the first place. Part of the reason that people like to join VG is because it was casual. You just jump in, And to introduce applications at the time was like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Are we really gonna accept applications from people and have them like join us? Yeah. So then he ended up leaving our outfit, our group, and going to Black Widow Company and BWC. And this was around the time that BWC was run by Firefly, the douchebag. That we didn't have good relationship with, right? Your mic's activating, Couples. And around that time, like we decided that we were never going to do applications that way. Like to join the group anyway. Like we were eventually like I don't mind doing applications for like let's say you want to like do something super extreme with the group. Like if we introduce like an esports team or something, right? Then yeah, we should probably do some kind of like not directly application system, but there needs to be some kind of way to vet people into it. You have to with like an esport team. But like when in terms of like just joining the group, you shouldn't have to put in an application. There was that. So similar to what 903 happened, it happened here too. It wasn't just on the same level though. It wasn't like that bad where like I had to pull rank on it. It was just a unanimous decision from the group that like this is where one of the few times I didn't have to pull like oh yeah it's I'm the founder. I never really had to do that kind of shit. It's the unanimous group decision. We put it to a vote where we weren't gonna do applications. There was only 2 people who voted for it, and those 2 people instantly left right afterwards and went to BWC. And then I remember after that, we had a thing where like I was busy, but I wasn't as busy. I was still around. Then people were like, "Yo, Proverbs doesn't come to op because he had work. Like he needs to come or do something about it. There needs to be a punishment for Proverbs."
Quick question.
What?
Yeah, go ahead, Savage.
Does BWC stand for what I think?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
But I mean, we joke that it does. We sometimes be like, "Oh, you mean big white cocks, right?"
I just want to bust that out in the middle of the screen.
Sometimes we call them that jokingly though, because they used to call us the Varangina guards. But
But we didn't stand for that.
kind of debatable. We could have. But Yeah, Daniel. This is what Young. That's what Young said. He's like, there needs to be a way to punish Proverbs for not going to ops. And I was like, bro, I'm fucking working. Like, what do you want me to do?
I
Like,
think I
Jeremy.
remember that.
Yeah, and then Jeremy was like, yo, he's being a responsible adult and going to work and not fucking like playing video games the whole time. What do you want? You know? So they were like, yeah, but I don't know, just a punishment system for Proverbs. And so I was like, and this is an example of me like, and people sometimes call me stubborn, but this is an example of me like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's roll with it. You feel that strongly about it, let's do it. I don't think it's a good idea. I personally think it's stupid. But if you want to do it, okay, I okayed it. Even against like the protest of like some of the other leadership, you know, and they made it. You know, they made a council. BG had its first council,
Oh, fucking council.
and you know what's funny? No one listened to that council. No one gave a shit about the council. No one was on the council except two people: Lazy Young and Said 338. That's it. And no one listened. So the council fell apart because no one listened to the council.
Yeah, you're
No one
forgetting. I joined the council later on too. Like it was just like, okay, I'm on the council now. I just joined.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can just decide you're on the council. Oh yeah, like the rule is that anyone can decide to be on the council, and they join the council, and then the council did nothing. Like they didn't accomplish anything. Like it didn't do anything. And so like eventually the council disappeared, and Lazy Young just got upset and left, and then Said 338 left and started talking shit about me. But if you leave and I don't have to listen to you or ever deal with you, I don't really care if you talk shit about me. And I remember Said 338 joined with like a circle of friends, like two other dudes, and they left. And then I fucking remember this shit. Okay, I fucking remember this shit. Said was like, BG's going nowhere. It will never do anything. And this is around the plan. Mind you, this is PlanetSide 2 days. Okay, BG, nothing's gonna happen for BG. It's gonna die in a year or less than that. That's what he fucking told me over Steam message. And all I fucking did was let them do the council. I didn't say the council was gonna fail. Like you know what I mean? Like I mean, in my opinion, during the leadership meeting, I said it. Right? But I said, hey, if you want to pull it off, go for it. So they did it. I didn't say anything bad about it to anyone else after that. I just went to work and came on, played PlanetSide, did my ops and shit. Then the council fails, and they kind of blame me for that council failing. And then they got upset about it and left the outfit. And then started talking shit about to me in Steam. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the fuck did I do to deserve this? I literally let you guys do it. You know? I literally let you guys fucking do it. And then they get upset that it doesn't work. They're like, it's not my fault it didn't work. You fucking brought that on yourself. Like, it's your own responsibility for making your own idea work. And then this guy named Tiberius messaged me that. Said also messaged me that. It's like, hey, VG's not gonna go nowhere and it's gonna die in a year. This was like back in 2013, mind you. Beginning of 2013. Yeah, we're still here. I mean that's not the thing I rubbed in their face.
I was trying to make a joke as
Oh yeah. But do you remember right before do you remember the hype that we had with the BG going to FNO and I was gonna go there live? It was like a really big thing. Like we that was probably the most hyped up event we ever did, was me going in person to Sony's headquarters. Literally 2 days prior, one of them messaged me on our forums and goes, hey, I'm so happy to see VG doing so well. And was like, it's so crazy that you guys are like now going to go to, I wish I recorded this or took a screenshot. And he tells me like, oh, you did so well. You're going to be on like, you know, you're going to be on the FNO in person and shit. That's so cool. Can I join? You know what I fucking said? I said, fuck no. Fuck no, dude. I mean, he could have easily changed his name and joined the group under the pretense of being someone else. But I said no. I was like, no, fuck you, dude. You told me like a year ago that we weren't gonna do anything or go anywhere. Fuck you, dude. Eat your own words. Eat your own words, bro. Like straight up. Like fuck off with that shit. Like if you're gonna say that shit to me, like at the very least, don't come back when we're about to do something cool like that. Come back when we're not doing something cool. You know what I mean? So it doesn't seem as like superficial. But yeah, that was another time that was like that. That's an example. Another time that was like that. Booga. Holy fuck, that's a throwback. The council. Valis at one point had a council. God damn. You ever? I'm actually surprised you you came from. I forgot that you came from Nidal Thread, Boga.
Yeah.
Bubba, what was your outfit experience in PlanetSide? What outfit were you a part of? We probably don't know.
I was on because I was on the EU server for some stupid reason. That's a story in itself. But anyways, I was part of the 252nd Special Operations, and we were a very large NC group at one time, and we were probably one of the best NC outfits on the server at the time. And probably in the heyday, we probably had 200 people active, and we would have multiple full platoons on at one time. And actually, you know that big huge event where PlanetSide broke the world record for most players in a match?
The world domination thing. Yeah.
So actually, the NC won that match, and actually the overall commander for the new conglomerate came from my outfit. His name was R Tiger, and he was the overall commander for the entire NC for that event. But we actually had like an MLG squad too, back when PlanetSide was trying to do like
Yeah.
MLG and stuff. So we created an MLG squad, and I played a little bit in that. I mainly just did like medic support and stuff like that, but um, it was a really good group, honestly, and I never had any problems with it. It just over time, people lost interest, and as
Yeah.
PlanetSide got older, we just kind of grew apart.
And that was one of the problems with PlanetSide.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still in their Discord and talk to some of them every now and then, but yeah, it's basically a dead outfit / guild now.
I'm actually very surprised that some groups stay together for as long as they do. You know what I mean? Like that's a hard thing to do. Like I was just talking about on the last podcast we did, where when we were talking about social circles, guild culture ties pretty close to like how large the social circles are. But to keep a group together long enough is impressive. Funny enough, after the beta, I'm gonna be throwing together like a 10-year anniversary video. We're coming up on our 10th year anniversary.
Oh damn! 10 years of Validus.
10 years of Validus gamers. Yep, that's gonna be crazy. Groups come and go all the time. I think my favorite is the amount of outfits that got popped up that were formed. Oh no, not just PlanetSide. Arma, dude, Arma. Oh my god, it's bad. Arma groups pop up and then get and disband like fucking crazy.
It was like that on Dark Orbit too, bro. I in so many guilds that fucking died in my face, like.
Dude, for real. Oh, that shit gets created.
And I was very loyal. Like I'm the type of person I don't like guild hop and shit. Like I find a place and I stick to it if I like people.
Some people do that.
I had to join like 8 different fucking guilds just because guilds just kept dying. It was so much fucking drama.
Yeah, dude, that's the crazy shit. I'll be real with you. I'm surprised we're alive. I am. I really am. I'm surprised we're alive. Some of the shit sometimes, this Discord alone, or not Discord, even TeamSpeak, sometimes there'd be like dry spells where we don't do anything, and like really barely anyone logs in. And then there'll be times where like so many people fucking log in because of a game we're playing. You know? It just happens like that. Like that's just how it is. Like back in PlanetSide 2 heyday, we have the average of like anyone from like 40 people to like 80 people in our TeamSpeak. And then when we played like other stuff, like bro, it'd be like that. Jay says, I'm gonna read Shay's comment here on the Twitch. When I was playing Rust, every clan would play like 1 or 2 weeks together and then disband. Shit was so annoying. Yeah, that's because it's hard. It's hard to keep a group going. Like trust me, like coming from someone who's kept going with VG, like there were times where I took breaks, but like it just stayed. I don't know why. It just stayed and we just kept going. Like some groups come and go, like it's fucking like nothing. And I can't remember the other group's name. What other groups did did we play with that also disbanded? There was Charlie and Mike, and there was somebody else. Oh, Chow's group, Flea and Chow. They ran a group called Fallen Tribute Gaming (FTG), and that they disbanded their group too. I think there was some drama that happened or something like that, and then they disbanded. Then they started playing with us, and here's one thing that's annoying. Okay, and this is why we're rebranding. A lot of people from Arma would come and play with us, and that was cool. But they would play here so often, but they don't want to call themselves a part of our group. And it's like, bro, you play here long enough, you may as well be and you're such a regular that you may as well be a valid, member. And then they would tell me like, I'm not allowed to be a part of your group because my outfit has a rule where I'm not allowed to join multiple groups.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, bro, you basically are a part of our group. You just don't have the tag on. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna force them to wear the tag, but I'm like, just letting you know, you play here enough that you're basically a part of the group. And then like, people would get so upset about wearing our tag, in that sense. And it wasn't like here's something I'm gonna review a little bit, okay? And I'm not saying you guys have to do this, but a part of me gets hurt a little bit whenever someone tells me they don't want to wear the tag, even though they come and do stuff to the point where they basically are more active than some of our members who are part of our group. It hurts me just a little bit. I'm not saying like it's a big deal, but it's just like, why would you like what's wrong with it? What's so wrong about it? Like, is it really that big of a deal? Like you enjoy playing it, right? Like, why
I
do you
feel
have to
like
say-
the fact that it's not that big of a deal is what's probably annoying you. It's like, why are you tripping, bro?
Yeah, it's like
So
it
you
really
want
is-
you want to hang with us, use us for fun, take advantage of whatever we're doing, but you don't want to be us.
Yeah, it's like it makes me so it was like so like what the fuck, like I said, it's not a rule I want to make anyone do. Granted, I'm just gonna put this out there with the upcoming meeting. I'm gonna cover the active member and the casual member thing. And the casual members don't have to do shit. You can show up and play just like you are now. There's no requirements. But if you want to be an active member, I'm gonna probably make it a rule where you do have to have like the tag somewhere, in the game that you're representing us in.
Yeah, I think that's fine, especially
And-
when you're
yeah.
benefiting from being a part of us. I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
that's
reasonable.
perfectly fine.
And there's two different groups, and I hope people understand, and I'm gonna make sure that people do understand that there are benefits to being an active member, and there are no like direct benefits with being a casual member, and that should be okay. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like there might be a little bit of pushback on this, and one of the things I'm worried about with this change is that it might produce people who have this elitist mentality of being an active member. But in the rules, I'm going to make sure like you can't treat a casual member poorly because he's a casual member. You're not allowed to down talk to a casual member that way. You're going to lose your active member status. And I want to reward the people in this group for putting in the time, and I want to reward people who come here all the time and who play with us, who make these sacrifices. They shouldn't. People who are active shouldn't, or people who are casual shouldn't get the same benefits as someone who is more active than a casual member. Who's on the siege team, who puts in like the hours to play, who contributes a lot. Like it shouldn't be like that. But yeah, that's something that I think is going to be a little bit different. I think this time around with on the meeting of the 10th, we're going to enact it. This is where this ties to the whole rebranding of Validus thing. I think a couple of you guys were in the channel when I talked about this. Active members will get a lot of benefits. Nothing crazy, game changing, but these are benefits where, like, let's say you're a streamer, okay? Shay, you're watching the stream right now, right? So let's say you're a VG member and you become an active member. Your stream is now going to get put on the official like Validus thing, where it announces when that person goes live. And I'm going to try and keep all the active member streams open and encourage other members to do the same. Try to like support each other in that sense. When people see that kind of benefit, right? When people see that kind of benefit, they instantly think I should join this group to gain those benefits. But that's not what I wanted, That's why I want to reward the people who like are active members and not casual members. So if like a casual member joins, right, and they haven't proven themselves that they're gonna like they shouldn't get the same benefits as this other guy, because the more streamers you add to the list, the harder it's gonna be to get people to click, and it's gonna be more annoying. People will join just because they want to stream on the thing, but they have to show that they're going to be an active member and put in the time and stuff to be an active member. And that's just one of the benefits I wanted to outline with active membership. But yeah, one of the other benefits I wanted to add was like we do giveaways. Well, I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway. Announcing one tomorrow. I think today's Thursday.
Really?
Is it Friday? Yeah, I'm gonna be announcing a giveaway on Friday, and it's gonna like we'll run the system, and like I only want for this giveaway anyone in VG before that Friday is eligible for the giveaway, and there's gonna be 2 giveaways. One where anyone from VG can be a part of it that was a member before that day before Friday, and then there's be a separate one where like you can invite people or one where we can try and get people to join VG, and that's another giveaway. That's separate. But I wanted people to like being an active member, you get access to an extra giveaway. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a benefit to being active. Like I wanted to reward people these benefits to being an active member, but not completely like make it so like it's a thing you have to do or anything. So I knew we had to remain casual while doing that. So that's I'm talking too much. That was one of the things I wanted to outline. But yeah, that's an idea of how we're going to change our guild culture, but not for the worse, I think. I think it's going to be for the better, especially with the whole rebranding thing. Yeah, anyone else got anything to add to that?
No, that's pretty sound because like yeah, I feel like what is it called? Being an active member, just like you already show up to these like events and stuff already, right?
Yeah, the idea is to get people to show up to events and such.
Yeah, like you are already providing us with an experience because how I look at it is like the fact that I'm with this guild, I'm able to do things that I normally would not be able to do, i.e. like do like 25-man raids on WoW or something, or like
like
get a
have
group
people
of like
that
40 dudes like go play New World. That was fun, insanely fun. That was extremely memorable for me, and that was my
I'll be
first
real with
time
you.
having like a guild experience.
I'll be real with you. Let me ask you something. Before you
What?
joined Validus, right, and you were playing Escape from Tarkov, were you able to find people to play EFT with, constantly?
Oh no! And then once I joined, bro, like that's when it was like me and Dervish, and then multiple people started playing. Like especially this wipe. Now we have like 6, 7 concurrent players, and that's pretty big for like a Tarkov group because like well, I mean the game only consists of like max like 5 people in a team.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we can have up to like 7 people at once means we can get community games running.
Yeah, it's
And
more
that's
fun
just,
to play with people.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, see, that's an example of like and a benefit of being a part of a group like this, and that's something that like you can do as a casual member. It's not that's not something that only active members can do, and that's an example of like the culture I want is like you definitely don't want to be the guy that gets ganked.
Yeah.
You want to be the guy that ganks.
And that's what I mean from like this, like just being part of the guild exposes you to like new ideas and experiences, bro. Because like I wouldn't have came up with, or I wouldn't have any like how do I say this, like anything to go off of if I didn't join this guild. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah, that's a thing. All right, I think that's we're gonna wrap it up here for guild culture. Does anyone else want to add anything else actually before we wrap it up for guild culture? Okay, I guess not. But yeah, let's do a closing note. Thanks for tuning into the podcast. I think we went way longer than I expected. We're coming on like 3 hours, so I'm gonna have to cut it here. But thanks for watching the podcast. If you have anything to say you want to add into the Twitch comments, go for it. If you like what you're hearing in these podcast episodes that we're doing, we decide on a schedule of Tuesdays and Thursdays. Sometimes a little bit extra like episodes here and there if we got the time for it. But these podcasts are going to be touching on mostly gaming topics, or sometimes gaming topics that will affect real life as well, vice versa. And these podcasts is sometimes going to be the same people, sometimes be different people. Sometimes we're happy. Sometimes I'm not going to even be in these podcast episodes. Sometimes somebody else will run it. But we'll see. If you want to talk about, if you want to make a suggestion on topics, just go ahead and shoot me a PM in the Discord, or just drop a chat in the Twitch, or even drop a chat in the Discord chat and talk about what we think should be on the next episode. The next episode will be Tuesday. Let's see. Tuesday, July 6th is going to be the next podcast episode. If you want to ask us or make a suggestion what topic you would like to see, toss it in there. This is actually like getting kind of a little bit more popular. So a lot of people were commenting how like they actually listened to the whole episode last time. I'm actually kind of surprised. I wonder if anyone's gonna listen to the whole 3 hours of this one. This one covered a lot. All right, thanks guys for watching. We're gonna cut the podcast there for now. See you again on Tuesday. Oh, and keep on Saturday. We'll be dropping another episode of VGRL, where we're gonna go over gaming stuff or gaming food. So we'll show you guys that one too. So road to July 10th.
Gonna be there.
Road to July 10th meeting. I'll see you boys later. And live forever.